restore some paintings. Show me some ancient Roman paintings. The Metropolitan. Is there anything I can restore? Is that it? That's why I want to listen to something. What's a podcast I can listen to? Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon. Hey, Theo Vaughn.
Joe Rogan podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
These are like conversation condoms, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Conversation condoms.
Well, it's like a safe room. Blocks out the world.
Yeah.
Conversation only exists inside your ears.
Painting
You know?
of
Locks you
ancient
in. I think it
Rome.
locks you in. That's
Yeah.
what I like about it.
Yeah, it's almost like a football player kind of putting on their helmet.
Punishment of
Right.
Ixion.
Ready to go.
Let me see this.
Ready to
Like, we're
go.
ready for this, yeah.
Yo, how fun was election night at the mothership?
It was baffling, man. I mean, here, I'll tell you, it was, I mean, it was crazy.
It was so much fun. We had such a good time. That green room was so positive.
Dude, my favorite part, at one point,
There's gotta be a
they were
better
playing
definition.
that song, you talk about a revolution, and people were dancing, people were smoking weed. There was I think there was a baby smoking weed. Everybody was like, people were like, it was crazy, dude.
It felt
Adam and Eve were in there. There was just a lot going on.
It felt like America's brighter. That's what it felt like. We were
Right.
moving towards this insane world.
How do I restore
where
this
we're
thing?
being controlled by liars. We're just being gaslit left and right. We saw it all over the media. We saw it all over the news. Things that were right in front of your face, they're trying to deny. There's just so much
There's
craziness.
a fucking penis, man.
And then all of a
I don't know if I
sudden,
can show that.
the world spoke. Did you see the map of the actual country? Like how many places
seen it
actually
before.
voted red?
Oh, no, I don't know if I saw that or
It's
not.
just
How the
a
fuck
few
do I restore
cities.
this?
Even
I
California
don't know what I'm
was
doing.
mostly red. That's what's crazy.
We had, I
Let
don't
me
know
see.
if I saw that. I'm trying to think of what I saw.
There's a
Oh, Tony was nervous, remember?
The punish.
Tony better be fucking nervous.
Dude, I kept just going up to him and going, Feliz Navidad, just to fucking get his vibes.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
This is the one I saw. Jamie, I'll send this to you. It's
Oh.
got music to it.
This was like when I got that hair surgery. You know what I'm talking about?
They play music in the background.
No, but it looks like that pattern.
Let me see that again. Yeah, it looks a lot like that, like a transplant. Yeah. Micrographs.
Where the fuck do I even
Yeah,
start?
that's what it looks like, man.
So what I sent you, Jamie, it just shows like the entire country. Does show you? Look at that.
Yes.
That's
That's
crazy.
interesting.
That's crazy. There's no blue states, just blue cities.
Well, then why do you think why do you think the cities and states are so much different then?
Well, cities are always going to be blue. It's normal. There's a lot of factors. One of them is you have massive populations of people, right? And when you have massive populations of people, a lot of times it's based around universities. Like Los Angeles is slightly different because Los Angeles has
Contrast.
universities, but really it's like more around Hollywood, which is equally delusional. But most big cities are flavored
That didn't do
by
anything.
a university. Like Austin is flavored by the University of Texas.
Yeah.
It's why Austin is progressive. Austin is, for people that don't know outside of Texas, Austin is one of the most progressive cities. Like if you look at, we voted in Austin, the city of Austin voted more for Kamala
Select?
Harris than the city of Los Angeles did.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, higher percentage of Democrats voted for Kamala Harris than even Los Angeles.
I'm just gonna
Well, I
censor
think
out this
a
part for
lot-
now.
It seems like a lot, like, a lot of Democrats. I don't know like a ton about politics, but it seems like a lot of Democrats.
Since
like,
this is Twitch,
it's.
right?
I understand a lot
There
of the
we go.
voting because it's hopeful voting. It's
Just
like wishful thinking.
Take that part out.
Well, they're feeding off of narratives. Like, you're a good person if you believe this, but the consequences are what they're ignoring. The pretending that the economy's in a great place. That's crazy. Talk to anybody who's broke. Talk to anybody who's struggling to pay for bills and groceries. Talk to anybody who's trying to buy a car. The economy's bananas right now. It's
Is there a
sketchy,
higher
very
definition of
sketchy.
this thing?
And
Yeah.
a lot of it is
People are robbing each other on Facebook Marketplace.
a lot of it is recovering from COVID, I'm sure. There's probably a lot of blowback from that. I mean, they shut the whole fucking country down, which is just so nuts.
That was insane, man. I think that's one of the but yeah, people are robbing each other on Facebook Marketplace. My buddy was going to buy a couple walkie-talkies off a guy, right? Gets fucking mugged, right?
Really?
Yeah, he's going to buy a couple of
So he meets the guy to go get the walkie-talkies, and the guy mugs him?
and it's like the seventh story I've heard, but it's like, people are doing crime. People are resorting to crime, and that's when it's not good. I feel like
Well, not just that.
when people
One
are
of the
resorting to
things
crime.
this administration did that I think is terrible, and this is a progressive liberal thing, is that you have these DAs, these George Soros-funded DAs that just let people out for violent crime and get the no cash bail thing. And when there's no repercussions for crime, guess what? Crime goes way the fuck up.
Oh yeah, if I'm a criminal and they're like, hey, it's crime time or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking put on my cleats or whatever. I'm gonna
You
get
know,
out
CSS
you're
there.
in
by?
jail and you're
What
just
is
gonna get
CSS by?
released.
Yeah, it's like catch and release.
Shopping agent? I'm not sure what this is. Nope. It's the first time I've heard of it. I'm a pass. I guess it's like Temu, right? I gotta research this thing. How to restore art. Photoshop. Create a new layer. Apply the photo restoration filter. What? You can just do that? Speckle. Smart filters. Filters, neural filter. There's supposed to be a neural filter. No. Photoshop AI. I think you have to pay for it though, right? I think we just gotta go one by one. Just these back one by one, I guess. Yeah, that's gonna take forever. Getting subscription? I don't know. I don't know if AI works yet. Also, you need a stronger computer. That work? I think it's working. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. Just one by one. So why the fuck is he naked? Did people just walk around naked back then?
At least it's
Yeah.
almost like the fishing rules or whatever.
Like if you go trout fishing in the lake.
I mean, a little
you're
bit.
You're a fly fisherman. You used to be a cop, now you're a fly fisherman with
You just have a
barbless
pair of
hooks.
Nikes on the hook. Yeah, you just put them out there.
Yeah, those fishermen, they use barbless hooks. And then they let the fish go.
I went fly
okay.
fishing recently.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, you know what I did? I thought it was like, let me think about what I thought it was like.
It's the more sophisticated way to go fishing.
Yes, it was like, excuse me, fish.
Yes. Gentle casts.
Yes. It was like, hey.
It also requires a lot more skill.
Well, it requires more patience.
For sure.
You can't like if you have a kid or whatever, you can't do it. Like you,
Right.
like if you're just fishing on the bank, you can have your kid and you can be sitting there smoking or whatever your kid likes to do, you know. But if you're in that, you have to constantly be moving it.
Right.
You know, it's very kind of like it's kind of homoerotic almost. It's like, hey,
What?
fish
Really?
or whatever.
Oh, it's
yeah.
flailing.
It's like, hey,
gentle.
fish.
Think so?
Yeah, dude, you haven't seen those guys? It's like, hey, fish, I'm over here. I'm over here, boys.
Well, the least sophisticated form of fishing is like a bobber with a worm on it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's the least. You throw it out there. But that's some of the most fun fishing because that bobber starts moving. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I think we got one. Oh shit.
It's like Jaws all of a sudden.
Bro, fishing's so exciting.
Yeah, my grandma used to take us fishing, dude, and she was like a malignant fisherman or whatever, and she would
Degenerate?
yeah,
What do
like
you mean by
very.
malignant?
She was like a staunch fisherman, like
Staunch.
like we're fishing, you know.
Oh, aggressive.
You better not fucking not fish, you know. She would like
Really?
kind of have that kind of behavior. Yeah, she was
Wow.
very. You better fucking fish, white boy.
Whoa.
You know, she would kind of be like
Aggressive.
that. Yes, very aggressive, right?
About fishing for little kids.
Yeah, and we'd
Very
have to
strange.
be quiet and look straight out and wait for the bobber. But she was really, she loved to fish.
Did she love to eat fish?
Yep, she liked to skin them and grill them and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
What kind
cool.
of fish?
Mostly catfish, bullheads. We used to fish up in like Spoon River up in like Illinois.
Do you guys use like chicken liver for?
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. I might not have worked in traditional offices, but I've had many different jobs in my day. And while there are many different types of offices, one thing is for sure. Choosing the right candidate for any office is a huge responsibility. So if you're hiring and you want to find the best candidates, I think you need ZipRecruiter. Right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter will save you so much time and money because they have smart technology that'll show your job to qualified candidates immediately. And their matching technology works fast to find top talent. You can even invite top candidates to apply to encourage them to apply sooner. Remember, if you want to find the right candidates for your office, you need ZipRecruiter. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We would get out there, we'd have a little thermos full of chicken liver.
Yeah, chicken
you
liver
know?
works, man.
My grandfather would say anything and she'd fucking look at him and he wouldn't talk for a month after that.
She was the fisherman.
She was.
The fisher woman.
Yeah, she loved to fish. I think she liked catching her own meals. Even, you know, she didn't like to hunt, but she liked to fish.
What's that fucking dude's name? The chubby dude that dressed up like the devil and everybody got mad. He's a singer. Sam. What's that? Sam Smith. Yeah. He he said he wanted to be a fisher them.
Oh God.
Not a fisherman, a fisher her, a fisher she. A fisher them.
Yeah, that's wild.
The they them thing is that's the best evidence you need that people are out of their fucking minds. You can't be plural, you fucking idiot.
Well,
Stop.
like the only thing I think it's like it's almost if you're being plural, you're I don't understand it. Like if you're being plural, are you being like there's more of me kind of like that's what I don't understand. Is it like an ego trip? Like that's that's what I don't understand about the
It's just a way to be unique, and it's a way to be in a marginalized community if you're just a regular person.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a regular white person, you're at the lower end of the social hierarchy amongst woke people. But if you're queer or non-binary, now you're in a protected group.
my
Now you're
buddy's
in.
queer actually.
Nice. What does he have to do to be queer?
Nothing. He's cool. He doesn't. Yeah, he didn't like send you an email update or whatever. He's just
Did he update his Twitter pronouns?
no. He's just like a
Just decides he's queer.
yeah. He's like a secret, not secret. He's like I don't know. He's just like a or I don't even know what they call it. I got to look at the chart or whatever.
What is queer these days? Because when I was a kid, queer was gay. If someone was queer, they're gay. Or if you got punched in the head, then you're on Queer Street. It was like everything was confusing. Queer was confusing,
Okay.
and then queer became gay somewhere along the line. But now I think queer is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
You could be gay, bi, straight, and then you could be.
Queer just means
pansexual.
cross-dressing, right?
And
Which
what
is-
is that?
Exactly. That's what Wayne Brady is.
He's pansexual.
He came out.
Damn.
Came out as pansexual. I don't know what that means.
I can barely handle whatever I am, dude. To be real honest, bro.
It's also new.
Whatever I am, bro, it keeps jerking off at night and being afraid to talk to women. So, whatever that one is, that's what I am, bro.
You're theosexual.
Oh, it's fucking getting kind of heady, man.
You're theosexual. Why are you afraid to talk to the women?
No, I don't know. I think I get afraid to like. I always got afraid to approach women. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
But why? You're a handsome fella. You're funny. You're successful.
I don't know. I think something.
Childhood shit.
Yeah, probably. There's something like I would just be so fucking nervous, buddy. You know, when I was a kid, I would be so nervous. I would be so nervous.
Which is interesting that you got into stand-up comedy, which makes people really fucking nervous.
Well, I think I was familiar with being nervous, so that didn't affect me.
Oh, interesting. Because you're nervous all the time. You're like, fuck it, I'll just go be nervous in front of all these people.
Oh, the audience is when you're on stage, the audience is just a woman.
Oh, like you're just trying to get them to like you.
You're just trying to you're like, how do we get this to work out, you know?
How do I get you to like me more? Who do I have to be?
Dude, the other night was crazy. Sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I got nothing, man.
No, the other night was crazy.
This week's been crazy. It's just been a crazy week.
Yeah.
You know? It's been a crazy week, man.
It was interesting because the beginning of the night, no one knew what was going to happen. So you're watching the first results roll in, and there's like this weird thing. And then Trump gets way ahead, but you're like, you don't want to like get too hopeful. Like, how far ahead he's in? He's ahead by 100 points. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, what is it? And some channels are like, and then every channel's kind of different.
Yeah, they had different numbers. I was getting a different number off my Apple News update than I was getting off of CNN, and then I was texting people, like Tulsi and JD Vance. I was getting a different Apparently, Elon created an app, and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, I'm leaving, it's over, Donald won. He just fucking somehow or another.
I'm gonna go back into my pod and evaporate.
I don't know what he's getting, where he's pulling his data from, but he had like the most accurate data in terms of the rural states hadn't put the results in yet, but yet Trump was ahead in these states. Kamala's never gonna win those states, so tabulated that and like put it all together. I don't know how he did it. But
Yeah.
Dana, I haven't even talked to Elon about this. I don't know like the Dana translation, but Dana said he had an app, and he was like showing him.
What?
He's like, it's over.
And
He fucking left. Dude just left.
it's over. John Jones won. Just saying that.
He just fucking left.
Dude, yeah, I mean, the whole thing's crazy to me. I'm so happy for, my biggest thing was I was so happy for Bobby Kennedy, man.
Yeah.
Because he's the only person that I super know, like, as a human, you know? He's been a buddy of mine for years, and I've just known that he's I trust him. Like, it's almost like you have people that you know and that are good people. It's like,
Yeah.
I have to trust my own instincts at some point and know, I know him.
Right.
You know, he's somebody I would vouch for.
Right.
You know, he's a good guy, and he's been helpful to me, like in moments where I have struggled as a person, and just been inspirational to me. You know, it's like I know him. You know,
Yeah.
like a friend, and
Right.
so that's, I think, like, that was something I was like super excited about, just to see where everybody was like, screw this guy, you
Yeah.
know, and to see him have a arc where it's like, because all he ever cared about, to me, and I don't know, this is just my opinions, dude. Some people, everybody has their own opinions, and I'm an idiot, but he always cared about like the rivers and the environment, you know, and then he started to care about the environment inside of our bodies, right? So for me, that all makes sense, right? And so, like,
Well, you know where it all happened from, right?
I was super, like, I was super excited about.
Do you know how he made the transition to being worried about pharmaceutical drugs? He would give these speeches, and he litigated a bunch of lawsuits against corporations that were polluting rivers. They cleaned up the East River. He was an environmental attorney, and they were also talking about the effects of mercury poisoning in the soil and water. And these women kept coming
That's
to
super
these
dirty, man.
things that he was doing and saying, you need to investigate mercury in vaccines. And, you know, he thought, like, that is, like, which most people think. You hear vaccine, like, the last thing I want to be labeled is a vaccine skeptic. Jesus Christ. A vaccine denier. That's like, mean, we talked about this yesterday, but it's like Holocaust denier is number one, but vaccine denier and election denier are like right under there.
Yeah.
And he started looking into it, particularly the MMR vaccines and the correlation between the uptick of all these autoimmune issues, autism spectrum disorders, all these different things that coincided directly with the increase in the vaccine schedule for kids. And so then he starts doing research on it. And the more he does research on it, the more it gets uncovered that there's this gigantic machine that's protecting all of this because there's so much money that's being generated. And most of it has to do with during the Reagan administration, they gave them immunity to prosecution. So they were no longer liable for whatever side effects the vaccines caused.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and then, of course, these motherfuckers started giving little kids, little babies that were just born, Hep B vaccines. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's you get that from needles and sex.
Yeah,
this is
unless
fucking
it's Pam
baby.
Anderson's baby, dude. I wouldn't put anything in that kid, you know? And no, if I don't even know if she has any kids or not. And I love Tommy Lee, so I don't know who
Well,
else
you
should have
fucked
said
up.
that. I'm already done, dude.
It's a joke. What are you going to do? It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, sorry, everything's okay.
I feel the same way about Bobby. I don't know him as well as I know Tulsi, though. Tulsi is...
Yeah, I don't know her.
Tulsi's a good friend of mine. I love her. She's great. She's an awesome person. She's like a legitimate awesome person. You know, that lady, she served as a congresswoman for 8 years, and the whole time she was against this divide of right versus left. She was always trying to be cool with everybody. She served overseas. She was deployed overseas in a medical unit, man. So she was helping people that got blown up by the war twice. That's where she got that crazy white streak in her hair.
Really?
That all came from the stress of being overseas, working in a medical unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, can stress be that compartmentalized inside of you and it comes out like that?
Oh, your body's... You can't imagine. You know, I was just talking to my friend Bruce about this last night. He was a cop in Austin. We were talking about the amount of death that most police officers see and the stress that has on you. And what he was telling me is you take like a cop that has like 20 years in the job, what they see is probably 10x what the average soldier who's deployed sees. Because you're seeing murder all the time. You're seeing car accidents all the time, suicide all the time, domestic violence all the time. You're pulling people over. You never know if you're going to get shot. He goes, most of these guys are fucked up because they're just constantly seeing this stuff. Constantly.
Oh, yeah. I'd be at home. I'd hear somebody open a jar of Pringles and I'd fucking pull on them, you know? Yeah. You
hear that top
pop?
pop?
Yeah. What's going on?
What is happening?
Dude, we had a police officer on a few years ago, or about a year ago. Can you look this up? Jamie, is it okay to ask Jamie to look something up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's a police officer.
How long ago?
Yes. This guy, retired police officer, Sergeant Brad White. This guy was super unique. He lived in Los Angeles, but he told this story. He was he didn't have any political thoughts. He just told stories of what it was like being a police officer, and he told the story of his first day on the job. They're chasing a guy. The guy runs into traffic, gets hit by a vehicle and killed, right? So even as just a human being, like, you're just doing a job, but then you're like trying to compartmentalize or how do, you know, what effect did I have on this? What are my, you know, like, he told this story of a mother had called and said that her son was thinking about committing suicide, right? The mother meets him in the yard. He shows up. He's a police officer. It's in outside of Los Angeles, I think in Whittier Police Department. I could be wrong. He shows up. The mom meets him outside. They see the son comes into the doorway, right? It's like a glass door with another door behind it, kind of. Takes his own life, right? Kills himself right in front of them. So now he's standing there with the mom.
Oh, my God.
Now he has to console the mother, then go inside of the home. He walks inside. The door won't open because the man's body is there, right? He's having trouble getting it open. Even just that moment. He gets it open. Something falls off of the ceiling down the back of his shirt. And it's part of the guy, his brain matter. He had shot himself on the scene. So I know that's graphic and stuff, and then for the next 3 or 4 hours, he has to take care of this scene with this little feeling between his bat wings or what is that?
Bulletproof vest.
No, inside of your body.
Shoulder
Shoulder
blades.
blades. Yeah.
And it's brain matter.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's just a regular guy. You know, he might not even have finished college or something, you know? It's like, so just the baffling amount of stuff that police go through. Anyway, I was trying to just like, those are stories that stuck with me when I spoke with that guy. It was like unbelievable.
It's just conveniently ignored by most people who will never be police officers. And then that was one of the more offensive things about the George Floyd thing, all this defund the police shit, where people rose up and were saying, defund the police, and I mean defund the police. And Kamala Harris was one of them. She was out there tweeting, defund the police. And because of that, crime just ramped up in certain communities, and so many people wanted the police back, but then it's, you know, it's a long process to try to, and to this day, most of these cops don't have good morale. They still have this feeling of defund the police was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to get people to be cops now. They don't want that fucking job, and why would they? It's a fucking hard job.
Yeah, and they don't even. I think the highlight, like they used to play like softball in our area against like the fire department. That was like the highlight of it. You know, it was like having like competition. You know, but I don't even like if you defund them, they're not even super funded. You don't ever see a cop with like a boat or you know what I'm saying? Like you don't.
A baller cop.
Yeah, you don't see a fucking
Right. If you think about how hard that job is, like hard jobs should pay more. Right?
Yeah, dude.
You know, like what is the? I think if you paid them too much, though, then they just quit. Like I got enough. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be tough.
Because like, what's harder, being a rapper or being a cop? It's fucking way harder being a cop.
Oh yeah, I think yeah.
But rappers get paid way more.
That's true. Cops just. I think a lot of cops will start making albums from their cars. You know? But there really should be some. There should be a great producer that goes on a ride along with a police officer. This is gonna happen. Watch, and makes a dope track with a cop.
Right.
And you could make a dope. You have so much great visuals.
Right.
And the proceeds go towards supporting the police department.
Yeah, like the cop could like be saying shit from behind the wheel, and you
Shoot
can
'em.
sample that.
Yeah.
Sample that and turn them into songs.
We got him. In pursuit.
Different codes, 5150. Isn't
Yeah.
that when someone's crazy?
Oh yeah, that's crazy right there. That's 50. I think 44.
Look at is this cop rap? What is this? Grammy-nominated rapper, Sacramento police officer records new deployment recruitment video.
Pull him up, man.
No.
I looked. I just figured there could have already been one.
What's that? 5150.
What do you have to do to be a Grammy-nominated? Grammy-nominated doesn't impress me. Like Grammy-winning, that impressed me. Grammy-nominated,
Dude, my Grammy
who
will nominate.
nominated you?
Yeah, my Grammy will nominate anybody. She liked Traveling Wilburys.
You didn't.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, if my grandfather showed up and said, "Hey, they're good," I
Grammy,
respect that a little
Granny.
bit more. But that's just me, you know. Lainey Wilson, I love. She's great. Red Clay Strays, Stephen Wilson
great.
Jr.
Red Clay Strays are great.
They're good, huh?
Yeah, there's good music out now. It's a good time for music because like you could find things so easily. You know, you don't have to wait for the radio. You just find stuff. People send you stuff. Like in the green room all the time. Someone will play something. Like, what is this? And they'll Shazam it. Like, oh shit, it's nice. That Shazam thing, that feature is so huge.
Yeah.
You know, on Google Pixel phones, there's an option to just have it on all the time. So anytime a song's playing, you can look down on your phone and it'll tell you what song's playing.
I didn't know it.
Do they still do that? I think that's still a feature. I think it's only on the Google Pixel.
What was I thinking about? I feel all over the place today, dude. You ever feel like that?
Oh yeah.
Like
But I
you
haven't
open
been
your life?
sleeping. I haven't been
Yeah, I didn't
sleeping.
sleep well.
2 days in a row, I didn't sleep. The night of the election, I could not sleep. I got home, I was wired.
Did
I
you jerk off or not that night?
No, I just sat in front of the TV. I was watching professional pool, sitting in front of the TV. I called Dave Smith. Me and Dave Smith talked on the phone at like 3:30 in the morning. And then I
Dave
finally
Smith,
went to
the
bed.
Libertarian.
And my wife woke up. She's like, "What happened? Who won?" And I was like, "Trump won in a landslide."
You're like the Spurs.
And then she was up. I'm like, it was a landslide. Like, it was a crazy landslide. It was the red wave that everybody thought was going to happen in 2022. Hey, Jamie, I'm hearing more and more about what we talked about yesterday, about the amount of people that voted for Biden in 2020 versus the amount of people that voted for anybody in 2016 and for anybody in 2024. That they're still saying it was a giant jump.
That's what I see too.
A lot of people think it's bullshit.
Could be.
There's a lot of people that are getting super suspicious about the 2020 numbers because Biden got more votes than anybody by like 20 million. It's really crazy if you look at the chart.
Well, did they say that the most people they'd ever seen at voting stations were this year?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know what the visual report is for this year, but then
This is the most consequential election I think I've ever felt.
for sure.
For sure. The way people felt about it, too, the people on the left thought they were convinced that Hitler was coming. They're convinced that some right-wing authoritarian is going to come down and take away all your rights. And
Well, that's the media does that.
100%.
But
100%. Not what he was saying, not what he did for 4 years in office. It's all the media. And we're all victim of it a little bit. Because you won't defend him or support him if you hear all these things about him, because then you got to defend the fact that no, he didn't really do that. He's not really a felon. There were only misdemeanors. Texas voter turnout falls in 2024 election despite record registration numbers. This is just Texas, right? 61% cast ballots, near 6% drop from the 2020 presidential race. But the difference in the numbers nationwide is what I'm interested in, because the nationwide numbers they're pretty consistent, like through the entire, like if you look at 2012, it's consistent with 2016, which is also consistent with 2024. The anomaly is 2020.
Yeah.
In 2020, everything goes way up. Way up.
Maybe because people were sitting at home and so bored and they said they didn't have much to do, you think?
Could be, because it was during COVID. Could be a lot of people weren't working, so they did have the opportunity to vote. The voting should be a national holiday.
I agree. I don't understand.
It's crazy that you give some people a complication. Like, imagine if you have a shithead boss. Like, I gotta vote. Why didn't you vote early? Because I was working for you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let me go vote.
Yeah, I mean, they give Christopher Columbus as
Yeah,
a
fuck
holiday,
that
dude.
guy.
The Lieutenant Dan of the 1400s. That dude gets a fucking holiday, okay?
Yeah, why don't you go
But you
read
don't
what,
get a
what that
day
guy
off.
did? Let's get rid of Christopher Columbus. They changed it to Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, and the Indigenous people are like, thanks, after you wiped out 90% of us,
Yeah.
thanks for giving us a day. How about we keep that day, that's fine. But how about we have an election, national election holiday? We could do it
Yeah.
one more holiday.
Celebrate it. It's a great day. People can
Yes.
rejoice. And then I
Cookouts.
think, yep, it would take a lot of stress off people too. It's like today's also
Yeah.
a day of celebration. It's not this day that I have to sneak away from work and be sneaky or whatever.
You should have
and
a paid,
eat in my car.
It should be a paid holiday.
Yeah.
You should expect to have to pay your employees on the day that election comes, because everybody should be able to go vote.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. We should make it. We'll talk to Trump about it. Making a nationally mandated holiday.
I don't have his number. I don't know. I mean, I there's a guy in his department I have his number.
We could look it up. I know some people.
Yeah, dude, it was just what a crazy week.
Yeah, very crazy. Well, you were one of the first guys to have him on the podcast. Did you have any hesitancy having him on at all?
My brother's a lot smarter than me, and he said, "Hey, man, I just want you to think that there could be some reflection from people if you have him on, right? Like some people could be upset about it,
Right.
you know?" And I thought about that a little bit, and I was like, well, I don't really, I don't know, I have political thoughts and beliefs and stuff like that, and it's hard to find a group that really embodies them. And if anything, right now for me, it seems like I don't even feel like these new parties are the same as the old parties.
They're not.
It doesn't seem like this isn't Democrats and Republicans. There's something else transmorphing right now.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I just want to be able to have a chance to talk to this guy, And the main thing for me was like you talked about Dana White earlier. He's really, I know that you guys work together, and he, I knew that Trump's brother suffered from addiction, right? I knew that, right? I heard that or something, and I looked into it. It's like, okay, he lost his brother. His brother died of addiction. So I was like, Well, that's interesting to me, you know? And I wish that people, I wonder if there's more to Donald Trump. Like, is there more of a way to talk with him about something that means, you know, try to get an emotional like more of an emotional well to him than it seems like that's in the public.
Well, there was a thing that was going on for a while where you were platforming people. This was the idea. Like, if you had on a guy like Trump, you were platforming this bad person. This was this thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at all.
But it's an authoritarian way to regulate conversations that let you know more about people, and it's stupid because people don't want to have a nuanced perspective on anybody. Look, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Kamala Harris. I'm like, I bet there's a person in there. I bet I can get to that person.
Yeah.
I wanted to find that person. I don't want to hear all the speeches. I don't want to hear. I was raised middle class. I don't want to hear any of that shit.
She's a roller skater. You know that?
No, I would love to find that out.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to her about all kinds of shit. I literally said, like, because there was a few restrictions of things they didn't want to talk about, but I said, I don't give a fuck. I go, get her in here. Like, whatever you want to talk about. And they want to know if I edit. I'm like, there's not going to be any editing. There's no editing.
Yeah.
We're not going to edit. But
yeah, that's the same thing they asked us. Is there an edit, you know?
I just wanted to talk. I feel like you give someone a couple of hours and you start talking about anything. I'm going to see the pattern of the way you think. I'm going to see the way you process ideas. I'm going to see whether or not you're calculated or whether you're just free.
Yeah.
Or are you comfortable with you, or are you projecting things? Like, she's got 80 different accents. How do you decide which one to pull out?
Yeah.
Like, she's got
Yeah.
She busts out different accents depending on who she's talking to.
Yeah,
They should have
I do
made her
that
talk
too,
to a
though.
bunch of Chinese folks. I would have loved to hear that accent. I want to see what,
I do that too, though. I like to meet people where they're at.
Sure.
You know? Oh, if I see somebody that's, you know, I'll be like, what's happening, my friend? You know? It's like, I like to meet people where they are, you know?
Yeah, she did one with the Latinos where she talked with a Latino accent. I'm like, this is wild. But she's a chameleon. But if you want to be
Yeah.
a successful politician, that's probably a good trait.
I agree.
You know? It's like a comedian that's always on. They kind of get annoying. But if you want to be a comedian, that's probably a good trait. You want to be a politician, you should probably be able to melt into your environment and sort of meld yourself with whatever these people want you to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe it's just like I always feel like the environment of debates, the environment of interviews on television, the environment of anything you're doing in front of an audience, it's so fake. It's such a weird way to talk that you don't get a sense of who the person is. So, like, when I got to see Trump on your podcast and you were talking about doing cocaine, then it makes you like an owl.
Oh, God.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious, but it was like you got a chance to see that guy as a person trying to figure out, like, who is this psycho I'm sitting here talking to?
I remember that shit. I'll fucking make a nest in my living room, dude. That shit, boy. I'll scoot over to the neighbors and steal some twine in my beak, homie. There's nothing worse than being locked out of your place on cocaine, man.
I can only imagine. But you talking to him, like, as a person is, like, almost more valuable than any other kind of speeches he does. Because when he's in front of everybody, talking about we're going to make America amazing, those are great speeches. But you don't, like, she had an amazing speech. When I was like, she could win, was when she had that one speech about Donald Trump, like, scared to debate her, but he says all these things. But you know what I always heard? If you want to say something, say it to my face. And the whole place went crazy, and she was laughing.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was so good. It was her best speech for sure. And it was right when they decided that she was going to run for president.
Maybe that is what,
So it was
what got people involved.
Biden stepped down, and she had one banger of a speech. She looked young and energetic, and, like, it really made you feel like
she's
this
cute.
is going
She's
to
kinda
be
cute.
She was hot.
Yeah,
She
got
was
that-
younger. She was a smoke show.
She's still all right. She got that thing on her, I bet.
So that
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you were saying. That's why it's so crazy.
Because a lot of brothers love her, too.
Everybody seems to love her.
Look, if the brothers like it, she got that thing on her. That's all I'm saying, you know?
I understand what you're saying. But, like, that one speech was almost enough for her to win. And if she just didn't talk other than speeches, but they needed to do a better job with speeches because every speech was the same. And the problem with that is we were talking about this, like the internet. You get to see that speech over and over again online, like, and then people make compilations of the speech. And it
Right,
looks,
and then the same thing.
but it's like if someone goes to see your act. You know, they don't understand, like, acts, like, to develop a bit, it takes months and months and months to really, like, put it together where it's, like, rock solid.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it the same way or slightly different every night. And if someone comes to see you and goes, Theo's so full of shit, man. He told us the other day that it was just the other day.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he said it 3 weeks later. It wasn't just the other day. It was 3 fucking weeks ago, dude. You're repeating the same shit. But that's what they
you
feel
got too
about-
many leap years, white boy.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Exactly. So that's what they feel about like a presidential candidate that's telling the same speech over and over. Well, hey, you're not supposed to go see all those speeches.
But yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the thing is about
you're
Trump.
not following the Grateful Dead here. You know,
Trump
it's like but
rambles.
Trump has a lot though. Trump has a lot that are repetitive.
He does, but not in the same order. It's like going to see a Grateful Dead show. It's like fucking, it's all over the place. You know, when Trump gets out there, he just does tugging. Did you see? He had this long-winded speech about the rocket.
That was
about
insane,
Elon caught
dude.
the rocket.
I'm
Yo,
like, you just won the presidency. Yeah.
Edit that down. You can edit that down. That could be 2 minutes.
Beautiful arms.
I was worried about that in the very beginning of the podcast before we got cooking. When he was talking to me about Lincoln's bedroom, I was like, oh boy, like where is this going? Like,
I've been in Lincoln's bedroom.
How was it?
It was okay. I think you can bring it up. Actually, it's in Springfield,
they give you-
Illinois.
Oh, it is? No, he was talking about the one that's in the White House.
Oh no, I've been to just his child before he got
You can
elected.
go to his childhood home. Oh wow.
It's really interesting. He used to keep his notes in his hat.
Oh, that was a good move.
Pretty cool.
Big ass hats back
That
then.
head wallet, baby, he had
That's a
that bitch
good
on him.
move. That's
yeah.
a good move. It's like
Especially
credit cards behind your phone, that kind of thing. Except if you lose your phone, you lose everything.
But you ain't losing that big ass hat. That was fucking long, dude.
Isn't it crazy, man? You ever see like how many dudes wore like fancy hats back in the day? That shit just went away.
It did.
Imagine if you were a kid and you were growing up in a hat family. You're like, well, our family makes hats, bro. I'm balling forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over this business, and then no hats. If you watch, there's a great outside boxing match in Reno, Nevada, between Jack Johnson and I think it's Jim Jeffries. And I think this is
Jim Jeffries?
Yes, not that guy. Another one.
It's not the.
Not the comedian.
No, I'm talking about the murderer.
No. Maybe. I don't think so. I think he's just a boxer.
Who was it?
James Jeffries. So see if Jack Johnson versus this is it.
Who
So,
killed the people with that
here's the
Kool-Aid
thing,
or whatever?
Like, when there's a video of all these folks that are walking like to the event, and every man has a fucking hat on, dude.
Wow.
They all have hats. Look, they all have fancy hats. Look at all these guys. They're taking off their hats, waving their hats. Men left the house with a fucking hat on. Look at this. Wow. Dude, they all have these fancy hats.
We still have hats.
What happened?
They're all dressed up nice with fancy
They have
hats.
caps.
First of all, good luck seeing anything outside the Republican National Convention of that many people on the streets dressed up in suits.
That's
Like,
true.
that's it. It's the only time you're ever going to see this. These are like regular men walking on the streets. Everybody had fancy hats on and a nice button-up shirt and a suit jacket. That's Jim Jeffries right there.
Oh, those guys
That's-
are good, dude. James
That's
J. Braddock.
That's John L. Sullivan.
No way.
Yeah.
The guy from that's the guy from Monopoly too, right there.
He was a bare knuckle boxer back in the Dizzy. So, and he was still famous back then.
Wow, look at him putting it all together. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't that cool? So they built this outdoor stadium to watch Jack Johnson beat the fuck out of Jim Jeffries.
Oh,
That's how it goes. Jim Jeffries was trying to make a comeback. He was a little bit older. Back then, bro, boxing would go until someone died.
yeah.
They would have, I mean, what's the most rounds they had back then? They were crazy. It was like 80 rounds or something. Like, what's the longest old school boxing match ever, Jamie? I think they had some insane amount of rounds.
That's a good question.
Look at this.
Isn't the point of
greatest
boxing
number
to
of
just
rounds
continue?
was 276.
It's to see
in a
who's
4
stronger,
hour and
right?
30-minute fight when Jack Jones
Like, if you wanna
beat
see who's
Patsy
stronger, you go
Tunney
until
in
someone's knocked
Cheshire
out.
In 1825. Holy fuck, dude. And we're introduced in 1867. Each round of a fight would last until someone was knocked down.
Oh my god. Wow.
Bro, 276 rounds is so crazy.
Ugh.
That's when you get all your CTE in an IV bag. You just get, You'd have to.
That's
you'd have
the
to
Brennan Shaw
swallow
gauntlet right
vitamins.
there, dude.
You just get your CTE just hot pumped into your fucking
Yeah.
brain.
Modern.
I'm just
box
joking,
would be
Brendan.
110, I guess.
Oh my God.
At New Orleans, that's where it was.
In he lived to 94. He lived to 1867. 94. Oh, these are when they died. Oh, because 1893, it lasted 110 rounds. Oh
Wow.
my God. 7 hours and 19 minutes. It was declared a no contest, later changed to a draw.
Dude, most people couldn't go that long without even looking at their phone, dude. Much
Yeah,
less
7
much
hours.
less having
How
to fend
How
off a
about
guy.
having to take a shit? You're in the
Oh.
middle of a 200 round fight. You have to take a shit.
They should have a diaper round. We have to fight and shit at the same time.
I would bet it affect your punching power if you just waddle around
Of
and shit.
course, dude.
Your
I
own
don't think there's
shit.
a way you can shit and punch at the same time.
It would be
Can there?
very hard. Very
Look that
hard.
up.
Very hard.
Because yeah, think about it.
Yeah. No.
It'd be so
You need
soft.
to tighten all that up if
Yeah.
you're gonna throw a good punch. Like your ass cheeks tighten, because you kind of use your legs as you thrust forward. You really can't shit and punch, and not effectively.
Fuck
You're gonna
yeah,
lose
we
that
cracked
round.
the code, bro.
Yeah, we cracked the code. You're gonna lose that round.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably just pissed themselves. I know guys who've shit themselves in the UFC. Multiple guys. Yeah.
Oh, it breaks my
I
heart.
believe Tim Sylvia shit himself in a fight once. Who else? Someone came out there. Michael Chiesa looked over at me once while I was doing commentary. And I think he got called. I mean, it was perhaps one of those situations where the fight before ended quicker, so he didn't get as much warm-up time as he wanted.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's running out there, and he looked at me. He goes, "Dude, I'm about to shit my pants." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm about to shit my pants." And he won. He went out there and won first round submission.
Because he had to.
Because he had to. Man.
Yeah. Dude, there's no.
So is this the
I
fight?
better than this
oh,
quick.
is this another guy who shit his pants? 5 fighters
happened to 5
who pooped their shorts. Yeah, it happens, dude. This guy shit himself a little bit.
Dude, I would shit myself if I had to go in there. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Tim Sylvia definitely shit himself. Randleman shit himself.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Look, you're getting
Oh,
your
I'm not. Yeah.
liver pounded on. You're getting kneed in the
I don't even
guts.
have the one that-
Oh, I got in a car accident once and it happened.
You shit yourself?
I didn't want to. I didn't have a choice. It just happened. It wanted to.
She shit her pants too. Justine Kitch,
No.
congratulations.
all over the-
I bet dudes would pay a
Call
lot of
time
money
out.
for that on OnlyFans. You sell them shitty drawers.
And that's Mark Goddard right there. Call timeout, brother.
He just stepped
No.
in it.
Oh,
that's
is that
Keith.
what it is? That's the
Yeah.
poop?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
are
Imagine
they
if
looking at
you're
poop?
like face down, if someone's putting you in a rear naked choke and they didn't clean the mats that good and the person before shit all over the place. And you get pink eye while you're getting your ass kicked.
God, that makes me scared.
Yeah, that's a scary job. That's the scariest job. You think,
Yeah, I went to that fight with you. Or no, I went to that fight. Remember me and Joey Diaz went
which one?
in New York. Oh, it was. Oh, I was thinking of your fighters. Well, I went and saw the James J. Braddock statue before.
Oh,
It was in New
really?
Jersey. Before Dustin and that last fight that he had. No, the one before the last fight.
Justin Gaethje? That was in...
No, after that. It was in New Jersey.
Okay.
The
that
Pride
was...
of
yeah. Benoit Saint-Denis. Yeah.
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 No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, he beat up Benoit Saint-Denis and knocked him out.
Islam Makhachev.
That was after
He
that.
lost to Islam.
That was in
but
Jersey.
Oh,
right.
which one was in Jersey? Islam?
That one was-
He didn't beat Islam in Jersey.
Right. So he fought Benoit Saint-Denis, then he gets a title shot against
Yeah.
Islam.
Yeah, I went with Joey. And I went to the James J. Braddock statue before. It was awesome, dude.
Islam's a monster. He's so good.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Joey was like, "What do I?" Dude, he was so. This is all love, dude. He's a fucking tremendous. He's one of a kind, and his book is great too. If you haven't read his book, but he's sitting there. He'd been eating mushrooms, you know. And once he even started eating a little, you could see Aaron Rodgers start to look over. You know, he was getting
That's
curious.
hilarious.
You know, he's like, "What was happening?" You know.
That's
But
hilarious.
by the sixth quarter or whatever, I don't know how the fights go, but it's like by the sixth quarter, he's just rubbing on his thighs, right? He's talking. He goes, "Who's winning, dog?" That's what he kept saying to me.
Oh, I can't
But
wait to see him again.
Joey used to shovel snow for James J. Braddock.
Did he really?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's one of my favorite things that I ever learned about him.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine that?
That is crazy.
What else is going on?
I'm gonna see him in a couple of weeks. He's coming out here. Joey is gonna start staying out here for months at a time. Yeah, he wants to get a place downtown near the club.
Me too. I'm gonna come back and look in about a week and a half.
Every time he comes, he's like, I gotta come out here, dog. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on,
right,
we'll make
come
it
on,
easy
you know,
for
come
you.
on,
I'm
no.
like, we'll make it easy for you. You tell me when you want to come, you come, we'll fly you out, put you up, whatever you want. I'll get you a real estate lady. Let's get the party started. And I'm trying to bring back the church of what's happening now. Because him and Lee Syatt, they were together when they were at the club together. And I'm like, come on, let's get the band back together. You guys together were fucking amazing.
There was nothing like that. Show kept people alive.
That show, Joey Diaz's show, was one of the most ridiculous, silly, preposterous shows. It was so ridiculous. And then he went to New Jersey, and here's the problem with Joey in New Jersey. He loves New Jersey. He loves New Jersey people. He needs comedians. And you forget that until you're not with them. And then you're like, oh, this ain't no fun.
Yeah, you're just talking to plumbers or whoever's got a decent attitude or whatever, you know, a decent sense
That's
of humor.
nice. I like talking to all kinds of people,
Yeah.
obviously. But I need comedians in my life, like I need vitamins. Like I need a certain amount of sunlight to get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
I need comedians. It's too, like that night that we had in that green room watching the elections, how many jokes were cracked? How many fucking times we rag on Tony?
Oh, dude.
We talked Tony off the ledge.
We did it. Tony's just fucking.
Tony's like got statistics. 26% more Puerto Ricans voted for Trump.
Bro, he had the Puerto Rican app open on his Whoop bracelet. I'm like, they have that? What is that?
Bro, the whole thing.
He was like, how many plantains have sold tonight? He was fucking losing his mind.
They tried to label him as a speaker. They said he was a speaker. A speaker? That was at the Trump rally? He said that Puerto Rico was a pile of garbage. These are human beings.
Was that Adam Ray? Who was that?
That's Obama.
Oh, it is?
A speaker? That was at the Trump rally? He was talking about Puerto Rico as a pile of garbage.
Dude, the simple fact that Obama's talking about Tony Hinchcliffe is crazy.
Bro, Obama's doing a Tony Hinchcliffe bit. There's a video of us at the mothership.
What is going on?
We played it yesterday, but I want to play it again, Jamie. Play the video. It's on my Instagram of Tony is on stage in the main room. By the way, Tony goes on stage. It's like Richard Pryor just showed up. Yeah. They were going nuts. He murdered. He has 35 minutes on it.
Oh, yeah.
He's on stage.
No way! At the same time?
At the same time. Yeah. We're definitely in a simulation.
My God.
So this guy was on Fox talking about Tony on one TV while Tony was on stage on the TV monitor.
That's unbelievable. We did it.
He was so nervous because here's what was going to happen. If he lost, you know, so the way these news organizations work, they have outlines
Yeah.
for stories if Kamala wins. They have outlines for stories if Trump wins. If Trump lost, they were going to blame it on Tony. They had stories where they're going to blame it on that joke, and they were going to say that joke turned the tides and made people realize the Trump organization's filled with Nazis and racists, and they were going to blame Tony, and Tony would have been fucked. Because then the Trump supporters would have thought that too.
Right, so it was like both sides would have disliked Tony.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He would have had to go to Puerto Rico or
No.
Costa Rica.
Maybe. Mexico. Mexico and Puerto Ricans don't really,
No, they don't even.
they don't get along that well. In fighting, there's always been a giant rivalry between Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. And a lot of
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, for sure.
I didn't know that.
Well, you know, there's no prouder group of boxers, I think, in the history of Earth than Mexican boxers. Like, they have
yeah.
Mexican boxers are known for a specific style. Like, if someone says you fight like a Mexican, dude, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Mexicans like Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, fucking Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you can go down the line. You know, Morales. Fuck, man. There's so many. Manuel Marquez.
Yeah.
So many, man.
Yeah, they got just so many punches in one punch.
Well, there's a culture of boxing there that goes back so far. And it's so, you know, with boxing, it's always people that are poor that want a way out. And one of the best ways out, if you're a poor young man,
Punch
if
your
you
way
can
out.
fight, you can make millions. Like Canelo, like Julio Cesar Chavez, like. So it's like the history of people rising through boxing. But there's a similar history in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a great history of boxing too.
Really?
But there was always a rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico.
I could see that because you're both Latino cultures and you want to be the best, you know?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been to a boxing match or not.
You should go see Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. It might be the last boxing match ever.
I don't know if I want to see it.
Do you want to see it if Mike Tyson wins?
I remember watching Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And it was like two guys like beating each other up in baby diapers or whatever. It was
Baby
like,
diapers.
yeah, bring it up. They were wearing like big diapers or whatever.
No, they were wearing cups. There's a protector that boxers wear that's different than the protector that MMA fighters wear. So the protector that boxers wears is foam that covers like the front of your hips and things too.
Oh, maybe I'm not thinking about it. Maybe I'm thinking about something else then. But it just
This
they
to
kept
me
hugging.
this is what I believe. I believe really, truly to my core that they made an agreement where Mike Tyson was only going to hit him to the body full blast. It looked like every time he hit him to the head, he was kind of pulling back.
That's the thing. It just didn't seem like a real fight.
Right. It seemed like a fight to the body, though. Mike was hitting him to the body really hard, and I think he hurt Roy a bunch of times really hard to the body. But, you know, both of these men are 50. Roy, in his day, I maintain to this day, was the greatest boxer I've ever seen.
Wow.
Roy Jones, in his prime, was a freak. Like, I mean a freak, where he wouldn't even throw jabs. He would throw a lead left hook. He would favor that over a jab, but it was as fast as a jab. And people couldn't understand it because
Yeah.
you'd never been in a ring with someone that fast.
Huh.
If you look at Roy Jones' highlight reel of KOs, you ever watch like Roy Jones when he was in his prime? They were executions, son. It was like Mike Tyson in his prime, but a different thing. In fact, in a Nas song, Nas says the new Mike Tyson's Roy Jones.
Wow.
Roy Jones was just executing people. He was so much faster than anybody. His timing was so good. His
He was a
power.
sniper.
Oh my God, he was just so skillful.
Who would you rather knock you unconscious, you think, if you had to pick a good fighter?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Roy would just put it out quick, just pop you on the chin, and you'd be
Roy
like,
or
okay.
Connor, though?
Both of them will knock you out quick.
You think?
Yeah, but and this is his one fight with Roy Jones with Vinny Pazienza. It was the only fight in CompuBox history where the opponent didn't land a single punch.
Wow.
A single punch. This was like when Roy was trying to get the referee to stop the fight. Before that, Roy signaled to the referee, stop the fight. And the referee said no, and then Roy goes like this. He's like looking at Vinny, sorry, I got to do this.
I've never even
He
seen
just
that.
lights it up. Bro, he was so good in his prime. But like all fighters, they stay past their prime, and people really only remember them for
Then.
when they lost.
Yeah.
You know, Roy in his prime was just something completely special.
He had an
You-
Allen
you-
Iverson vibe.
You went to watch him just to see how long guys would last. That's what you would watch, to see what he would do to guys.
I did a fishing rodeo with him once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big fisherman. He dropped his hands, put him behind his back, and knocked the guy out. Like lured the guy in and hit him with one straight right hand and dropped him. It was one of he would just like be
That's
toying with
crazy,
dudes.
dude. I
Dude.
can't even get a fucking medium jacket off of my body, and this guy's doing this shit. That's what blows my mind,
Roy
dude.
was so good. He was so good.
Oh.
And everybody
You
that went
cooked
in
that
there.
brother right there.
There's a thing that happens when a guy's gonna fight. Like you would see it with Anderson
Who is that,
Silva.
Bill
in his
Cartwright?
prime.
Who's he fighting?
No. Some dude is in real trouble. They should have stopped this fight
Oh,
already.
God, bro.
That dude did not need to take those other two punches. Dude, he was so fast.
Yeah, dude. Tony was he was
terrified.
chain
He was terrified. Tony
And
was
bro,
terrified.
Right when I walked in, I hadn't seen him in months. I'm just fucking grilling him.
Bro.
I'm like, there he is. I'm like, who's an island now? That's what I said to him. He's fucking sitting there.
Who's an island now? Did you really say that to him?
Yeah. And here's the best thing about Tony, though. He laughed. Like,
Yeah.
Tony is for the joke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if he's, like, going through it, he respects the joke. And, like,
Always.
there's many layers to that whole thing. It's like, Tony is who he is.
Yeah.
And you respect that to the core. It wasn't the best timing? Probably not, right?
No.
Was there a lot of supervision over him, is what he said?
No.
Probably not.
But that just shows
that's
you how
also
disorganized that meeting was.
it's disorganized, but it's also real. So it's like, there's two ways to look at it. It's like, It's like nobody proofread it.
Let me clear something there, because we did say that they had went over his material. They didn't. They did not go over his material. They did. Someone suggested he take one joke out. So he took this one joke out, and he's like, oh, what do I put in its place? He decided to go with the Puerto Rico joke. You fucking dumbass. Don't you know?
We did it.
Yeah,
But-
he's just so silly.
But he's the guy.
But he laughs at himself.
Oh, totally. But also, it's weird because it's like, do you want things to be tailored or do you not want them to be tailored? You know?
Yeah.
It's like you could have a group that goes through every single joke and says no to everything.
Right.
And then you get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of. It's like how many layers of when you drain spaghetti or whatever I'm talking about. Like how many layers of
Spaghetti.
Nah, shit. I don't know. It's been a long year.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But I think when you get to a certain level of your career, you got to say no to things that are outside of comedy.
Yeah.
If you're just coming up and someone says you want to go speak in front of the president, go out there, make a mark, soldier, give it your best.
Yeah.
But if you're Tony Hinchcliffe and you just did the Tom Brady roast, Kill Tony's the #1 comedy podcast in the world.
Unreal.
You have millions and millions of downloads every week. Don't do that. Just do comedy. You're really good. That's what I was trying to tell people. If you saw those same jokes on stage, he kills. Fucking crushes. It's just the worst environment ever for it. Lights are bright. It's in the day.
Yeah.
No one knows a comedian. He goes up cold. No one goes on after him. There's like his big ass pause after him. The whole thing was like organized terribly.
Yeah.
Terribly.
Oh,
Just
it's-
complete disorganization. It was like there was the Trump speech, which is the big thing. Like, what do we do with all the extra time? Like, let anybody talk. Who wants to talk? This guy owns a fucking sandwich shop. Let him come up there. You know, look, it's my friend Giovanni. Like, let anybody in there. They were letting people that were saying wild stuff, too.
Oh, they were letting anybody in there.
And it
dude.
didn't seem like they vetted a lot of the speeches. Some of the speeches were like, wait,
Yeah, they had 40 minutes of ASMR in there. They were fucking letting people do anything.
Dude, whenever you get an organization, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, you got to kind of like appease everybody. And you got psychos and moderate people. And they're all together under this one banner of this one. Like, have you ever been on a sports team? There's always like one dude on the team that's a fucking psychopath, right?
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, dude, don't cause any fights. Like, leave everybody alone. Let's go. Come on.
We had a brother, he would slash everybody's tires, but then here's the thing, we were giving him a ride home. So it was like, well, now we're all fucked. You know what I'm saying? But that's who he was. You had to respect him. He was a power forward, you know?
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're not making the best decisions.
People
Get hit
don't,
in the head
man.
a lot.
People don't, man.
Especially football players, bro. You get hit in the head a lot, you're gonna make some sketchy ass decisions.
Nick Bosa got brave and shared his political thoughts the other night. You see that?
No, I didn't.
Well, just crazy how like on mainstream stuff, if you share anything one way, it's okay, but you share something another way, it's not okay.
Right. Like nobody got angry at people. They made fun of people for supporting Kamala Harris. Like we made fun of Dave Bautista, like because it looked just so silly. Like this performative commercial where it's really important to vote for Kamala
Dave
and
Bautista.
Tim Walsh.
Is that the
You know,
Menuda? Is he
wrestler.
Menuda? Oh,
The wrestler, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, big Jack dude. He's trying to get movies, man. He's wearing pearls to like red carpet events. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get those movies. You gotta
for
like show
what, though?
you're an artist. You're sensitive. You're on the right side. Put him in the. He wants to be a lead in a movie. Wants to be a movie star.
Then fucking turn on your camera at a house and make something.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the right move. What he's doing is the right move, even if he's faking it.
You mean for Hollywood, you mean?
Yeah. Wear the beads. Wear pearls. That softens you up a little bit. Lose some weight. Lost a bunch of weight. Talk shit about Trump. He's allowed to be like a tough guy talking shit about Trump. Did you ever see that Jimmy Kimmel sketch they did? We called Trump a whiny bitch, and you ever seen it?
Or Jimmy Kimmel called Donald Trump that?
No. Bautista.
Dave Bautista did?
You never saw it? Find it, because it's kind of funny.
Is he the Intercontinental Champion? I haven't
He
watched
was
wrestling in
a
a bit.
big-time wrestler, was a giant dude, like fucking built like a superhero. And then he went and did Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a
Oh,
giant
yeah,
dude
with Chris
in that.
Pratt.
Yeah. He's a big, giant wrestler, dude.
Yes, now I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but he wants to be a movie star, so he's losing some weight. He's a good actor too, man. He was good in that. What was that movie? The Glass Onion. Yeah, that was a great movie. He was really good in that.
trying to think of what I've seen.
He's just like
recently.
if you're a big giant dude and you're a big muscle-bound giant dude, and you want to do like serious roles, like you kind of gotta lose some weight. You know, you kind of gotta like support Kamala Harris. You kind of gotta like wear pearls. You kind of gotta like soften your stance. You know, you gotta kind of like be performative that you're the guy that they would want to pick, because that's like part of the battle. Like here, let me get this.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
I thought that was Eddie Bravo,
Donald
dude.
Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton. He whines like a baby. The guy's afraid of birds. Donald Trump had his daddy play a doctor and say his Will feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut, like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. I mean,
While
look
he's
how he
working
drinks
out.
water.
And where is this? At Jocko's gym?
I
A
don't know.
little pink chickadee.
That's pretty funny.
He's got jugs, big ones, like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms. You know that little dance he does?
Yeah, he's a pervert, dude. Who isn't a pervert?
He's moody, he pouts, he throws tantrums.
No, get those lights off!
He acts like a 5-year-old behind the wheel of a truck. He bends over for Putin. He's cattier on social media than a middle school bean girl. The guy needs help walking downhill. Almost there, Grandma. And this November, let's stop kidding ourselves. Donald Trump is afraid.
I don't watch this kind of stuff.
Look at this, the punches.
Windmills, Merle Street, and being laughed at.
Isn't it past your jail time?
But mostly, he's terrified that real red-blooded American men will find out that he's a weak, tubby toddler.
Mommy, take me home, Mommy. I want to go.
What you want, tough guy? Someone grab you by the...
Wow. That closing line's pretty tough,
That's
dude.
not bad. They called him a
good.
bitch. But it's like, you know what he's doing?
Yeah.
Trying to become a movie star. It's a good move.
But
the
why-
Hollywood liberals 100% love that.
Well, Hollywood's just crazy to me, dude. I just don't understand it. Like, it seems like they hate white men.
Well, some people that work in Hollywood, I'm sure, don't like white men, but that's a thing about woke culture. It's like there's a hierarchy of the injustices that you have faced.
But as a-
white men have, even if it's not you, which is where it gets prejudiced, because if it's not you, white men over history have caused the most grief. They've caused the most trouble. They've been responsible for the most injustices in this country, at least. You know,
Yeah.
slavery, red line laws.
Other
bringing
people
the
helped with slavery.
Chinese.
Let's don't just pin the
Oh,
tail
100%.
on
But-
the honky donkey. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
but in America, slaves were exclusively owned by white
undeniably.
people.
Right.
In other countries, they're owned by all kinds of people. This is where it gets
See,
weird.
that's what we got to do then.
Well, what people don't understand is there's more slaves today than there have ever been.
Nuh-uh.
There's more slaves today than there were before 1865 when slavery was abolished in America.
You're lying.
Nope, there's more slaves. In Libya, when we took down Libya and the rebels killed Gaddafi on television, do you ever see that?
I didn't know.
It's one of the most terrifying
What channel
videos.
was it on?
C-SPAN.
Nuh-uh.
But Libya for a while, became like a failed state. And at one point in time, there were slave auctions in Libya that you could watch on YouTube.
Okay.
How crazy is that? Like, Google the actual numbers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a real statistic. So, and this is also one of the things that people are terrified about with this border deal, okay? Because one of the things about the border, it's not as simple as people coming over and they want a better life, of course, but it's also people being exploited. And there's tens of thousands of kids that are missing. Who knows if they've been smuggled into child trafficking? There's who knows how many people have been. Okay, hold on a second. It says estimates range from about 38 to 49.6 million people are slaves today. The number of enslaved difficult people is difficult to determine. Estimates range from 38 to 49 million.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't
Right.
have any clue.
Well, you have to include people that can't leave, even if they're not like in cages. People that are trapped, right?
like Gaza people, you mean?
Well, no, I would talk like people that work in coal mines or cobalt mines in the Congo. They're essentially slaves. I mean, they give them the minimal amount of food and water. They work in horrific conditions, and they live in complete abject poverty.
But they're treated better than the people in Gaza, though.
Perhaps. Well, they're all getting poisoned. They're all getting poisoned pulling that cobalt out of the ground.
Yeah, but still, they're getting
Yeah.
lunch, I bet.
Probably not a good lunch, I would imagine. Either way, yeah, you could find other spots that suck worse. But the
Yeah.
point is, like, those people you could kind of consider slaves. And then there's real slavery. You know, this friend of mine was telling me about this place that was built in Jamaica or the Bahamas. I think it was the Bahamas. And they brought in Chinese workers in like this giant ship. And he said they had this patch of land. They put up a fence around the land, and all the Chinese workers lived on that land. And the Chinese workers built this resort there, and they worked nonstop, 24 hours a day. They built the whole thing in 18 months. They would just have shift after shift, and once it was completed, they took all the workers, put them back on the boat, put them right back to China. So, what was that?
Right.
Was that slaves?
That's slavery.
It would. I mean, it seems like slaves. Like it seems like unless they paid those people an exorbitant amount of money, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the arrangement was. But
Yeah,
they put a fence around the area. They brought people in a giant ship, and then they put them back on the ship and shipped them back to China. Like if
Yeah.
you have a slave.
Well, look at Firefest. Remember Firefest or whatever?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that, dude?
That was a dude trying to make money.
Right, but still, those people got carted over there.
Yeah.
Nothing to eat, nowhere to sleep.
Bro, there's
Definitely
some-
different than slavery, but still, it's like, yeah, it's funny. You think just because things happened a long time ago that it's not slavery today, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that Fire Festival is a form
Yes.
of slavery.
I agree.
Did you see Prop 6
Well,
in
there's
California?
forced labor
What
and
is
then
that?
there's free market
It's on the
labor.
screen.
Prop 6 prohibits slavery and involuntary
Because
servitude.
sometimes it's better to have a low-paying job than no job at all.
Wait a minute. What? In California? Proposed amendment to California's Constitution would bar slavery in any form and repeal a current provision allowing involuntary servitude as a punishment for crime.
Because a lot of them gay producers trying to trank out them twinks, homie. That's why, bro.
Keep them as slaves.
I'll tell you, bro. They fight every now and then.
How would you? Why?
Every now and then, some twink fucking clambers out of an air vent.
Oh, here it is. It's forced labor in prisons.
Yeah, it has to do with
Okay.
paying people to work in prisons and do like they have to fight the wildfires and stuff.
Interesting. So they want him to have to work. Wow.
They just don't want to pay.
Yeah, that's
Bro.
California.
But that is what happened, right? That was what the Jim Crow laws were all about, man. Like, one of the things about slavery is slavery didn't end, boom, now let's give black people jobs. No, slavery ended, and then there was this long period where black men would get arrested for anything and everything.
Yeah.
And then they'd be forced to work. And they had work camps. And so you were
It's
still...
the same thing.
You could just get caught and you'd be a slave. You get a bad cop, besides you're speeding, whatever it is, you're a slave.
Yeah.
And they
Speeding,
did
you
that
need to have
for-
a car, and you're speeding.
Yeah, you're looking at people bad. You're verbally intimidating people, whatever the fuck it is. People like you see with the when someone wants to target you for something,
Yeah.
you pissed off the wrong people, they fucking come after you with the law. And they can get you if they just decide that you shouldn't be free and we're just gonna there's an industry around slave labor, which there is. There's also an industry now around keeping people in prison, right? Because the prisons are private. So it's a private corporation owns this building where you lock people up for money. You get paid for them being there. So
Who gets paid?
the private prison? There's contracts with the state.
Like it's like a summer camp or something kind
Well,
of
I
thing?
don't know who gives the contracts, but no, prisons are owned by corporations.
Okay, so prisons own corporations. So,
No. Prison is owned by a corporation, so it's a business.
Okay.
So they lobby to make sure that laws stay on the books. One of them is marijuana. So the prison guard lobby, they were trying to make sure that marijuana stays illegal so that more people stay in prison.
Okay.
Because the more people in prison, the more jobs they have, the more hours they have, the better benefits they'll have. And the prison wants as many people in jail as possible.
'Cause they get
That
money.
is how they make money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who makes the money? It's not the government?
No. Well, in some jails, but there's private prisons. Like, what is the percentage of private prisons? Well, no, I know we've looked this up, but I forget the number.
Are they
There's-
nicer?
I don't think so.
What about the Excalibur in Las Vegas? That place is a fucking private prison, dude. You ever been there? Dear God, bro.
Bro, I heard Circus Circus is going down. That's the
bro.
ultimate. Circus Circus is like, how is this place legal?
Dude, that was
At the end of 2022, 8% of the total state and federal prison population in the United States was in private prisons.
What?
Yep. Which is about 90,873 people. This makes private prisons a relatively small part of the correction system, which is mostly public, which, by the way, is even crazier. How about the fact that 90,000 people in jail is a small percentage? Wow. We have more people in jail than any other country. Do you know that?
Yeah, we need a few more in there too, I think. To be honest, bro. Freedom is some people can't handle freedom.
Yeah, freedom ain't free.
Freedom ain't free, man. What are you eating over there? I need a hit of something,
Want
man.
one of these?
Huh?
Some.
Oh, that's Zens or something?
Yeah.
Breakers?
You scared of it?
You have
want,
a vape on you? This is
I have
non-alcoholic.
this.
What is that?
Bust out the smelling salts.
I'll take a hit of
You want a
anything,
hit of
dude. I'm
that?
about to fucking jerk off just to get high, dude.
What's
I
going
need
on,
something.
Man? What's happening, Steve?
Just been a long week, man. It's
Anxious?
just been a long year, man.
Well, you're successful. You're handsome. I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. Yeah, I
Bro,
fucking trust me,
this
dude.
one's so bad. It stinks. Chuck
Does
me a
it?
knife, Jamie. Got a knife over
That's not the fishing bait one, is it?
there? No, bro. This one is so strong. I haven't even opened this yet.
My
Look,
gr-
sniff it. It's not even open yet.
Can't smell it.
You can't smell that? You have COVID?
Nope. I don't think so.
Shout out to my friend John Reeves who gave me this knife. This knife is made with...
You got a vape in here still, man?
No.
Come on, BLM, dude. What you got, Jamie?
What do you need, man? What's wrong with your vape?
I just want to hit a nicotine. There's no nicotine in it.
What are you doing with a vape with no nicotine? Just faking it?
Yeah, just trying to get through it all.
Do you want a cigar, perhaps?
It'll make me sick, I bet.
Okay. I don't want you to get sick.
I know.
Before I bust out these smelling salts, son. These are, oh my God.
Tremendous. What round
Oh boy.
What round are we in,
Bro, this one I'm smelling from over there. Here we go. Oh my God.
Come on, boy. I'll fucking ride that bitch, homie.
Oh.
Huh?
Ooh.
Bareback, huh?
Ooh.
N-words in Paris,
Get
baby.
it,
Let's
get
get,
it, get
this.
it.
You feel me?
Get it, get it. Oh, Lord, right? There's nothing like a freshie.
How many seconds did I do, man? That's PBR
You
shit.
did. You had a good haul.
Let me get one more.
One more.
Sorry,
Get back
sorry,
in
man.
there, son.
Sorry.
Don't be scared. I like it. I like it. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I can't leave you alone out there in two land. I got to get a dose in myself. There you go.
Oh my God. Oh. Fuck, I just think I saw who won the Heisman. Oh my God. Bro, that shit made something happen to me.
Those are so strong.
Wow.
Ugh.
I'm gonna join women's sports. That was a lot, bro. That was
If every time you did this and you left here and you felt like you couldn't remember things well, would you still do it?
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If
would.
you would lose like a little bit of memory, like where's my keys? Nothing serious. Like you remember your name, you know, still remember your phone number, but you like, where's my keys?
To do a little
Just
bit of a
bit.
drug.
Yeah, just a little hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my eyes just shut down, and yeah, and I like it. It's like, how far can we go? There's something about doing something. It's like, I think when you have addiction, you want to do something that harms you. You know?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. You want to fucking, because it's control. It's like I want to control how I feel. So even if how I feel isn't great, there's a weird juxtaposition where it's like, if I have control over it, then it's almost like you're the devil that's trying to kill you, you know? Does it make any sense?
So if you have control, like, so you have anxiety and you're worried about things, and so in order to kind of mitigate that, you do a little bit of damage to yourself, so you have control over the damage.
Yeah, there's
Is that
something
it?
about having control about how you feel. So even if you feel damaged, you still did it to yourself. There's like, I don't know, man. I'm doing the worst job.
No, I know what you're saying. The self-destructive tendencies
Yes.
is a big part of addiction, you know?
Yeah, self-destructive. It's like, things feel so hectic right now. At least if I damage myself, then I'm the one doing it. I'm not just letting the world do it, right?
Right.
And in the moment, you don't see that doesn't have any value.
Right.
Afterwards, you're like, shit, that was dumb. But in the moment, that feels like at least I'm taking control of the situation, right?
I think sometimes you spend too much time alone.
Me personally?
Yeah.
I would think that's probably true.
Yeah, I think knowing you and being your friend for many years now, I think when you struggle is when you by yourself too much.
Yeah.
Because when you're with everybody else, everybody loves you. We all have fun together. So I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We need that, especially us, especially comedians. We need to be around people that are just like us. Like, you don't have to worry. We can just talk shit, laugh, and have fun. There's no like wondering where we stand with each other. It's always fun. You need a home base, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you were doing better when you were at the Comedy Store all the time because you were around us all the time. We were all around each other. We knew there was a place we could go where we could find like-minded people and have a laugh. You know?
Yeah.
On a regular basis, which is like, we're so fortunate. Most people don't have a place where they can go, where they're guaranteed to see people that they love, and you're gonna have a good time and just be silly with each other. And then you're watching all these sets, everybody's going on stage with that energy, and so there's all this
fun.
Killing in the air.
Yeah, I mean, Mothership's fun, man. I would want to look for a place where I just haven't had the time.
Let me ask you this.
This year's been the craziest year, you know? It's just been a crazy year, and so it's like...
Well, it's good to be crazy because you're busy and you're doing great stuff. And
Yeah, it's been fun.
Your podcast is killing it.
It's been scary, you know. It's been fun, you know. I appreciate the couple times, you know. You've messaged me after a couple episodes and said, "Hey, man, I like that," or something. I really appreciate. I want to let you know that I really appreciate that.
Oh well, I appreciate what you're doing. I'm very, very proud of you. I love to see how much you've worked at it and how your podcast just keeps growing in the ranks. It's really good, man. It's very authentic. It's a perfect podcast in that it's really you. You know how to be you. You're real authentic. Even if you're talking to Trump, you're being you. You're talking about doing cocaine with former President Trump, or now newly elected President Trump. So it's like...
I just want to have a voice, you know. I always just wanted to have a voice. Or not even... I just wanted... I don't know.
You want to be able to express yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted things to be fair, and I just want to express... I just like...
Yeah.
There was always this feeling inside of me, like I can't speak up for myself, you know. And so, like, I think, and even if I'm just listening to somebody but letting them speak, it's like there's still like something that, you know, it means. It's like I can't even explain it, but it's like it's like I don't know. It means something to me.
Yeah, I think these kind of conversations are very good for you. Like conversations that you're having, conversations that I'm having. I think they're good for you. You get a chance to communicate with people that are, you know, really interesting, unique people that have lived completely different lives than you. Like I had Brian Cox on the other day explaining the universe to me. I was like a kid in a candy store. It's like so exciting to get this guy who's this like super intelligent person who's also a really good communicator, who could break down the fabric of the universe for you and what we know about it. I mean, like, when does anybody ever get that opportunity to sit down and talk to someone like that for 3 hours?
Yeah, man. Dude, I had a lady who had been driving cats across the country for 2 years in a fucking tour bus, right? And they perform and they do musical acts. Right? And bro, I'm not even joking to you. It was one of the most fascinating things I'd ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah.
Because her commitment to it. Imagine she got her CDL so she could drive the fucking bus because it was so expensive.
What's a CDL?
Commercial driver's license. Oh. And she goes around doing feline shows around the whole country. And she's been doing it for 15 years.
Who do you think she voted for?
That's a good question. I don't know. Whoever, hey, grab him by the pussy, probably that guy.
Do you know that crazy cat ladies, that there's a reason for that? It's the same reason that, like, it's a cat parasite, toxoplasmosis.
So you're saying it's a medical ailment?
It makes you aggressive.
Come on, man.
No, it makes you aggressive. Yeah. I bet a lot, like, that term, cat lady, crazy cat lady, that's a real thing. That lady's got a parasite. She's got a brain parasite. Toxoplasmosis.
But you can't tell them that.
Oh, I bet I could test them.
Oh, bro,
I would
dude.
get a cheek swab. Hold that lady down. Give me a cheek swab. I guarantee you that lady's got it.
Bro, that lady, bro, I used to live with a dude, bro. I used to live with this dude, right? And I ended up doing fucking a lot of drugs or something and whatever. And I fucking cut a window into my closet, dude. And it was to the neighbor's apartment. I thought it went outside. I got kicked out.
Oh, my God.
But before that, I lived with this dude and he would get really...
Imagine you're that lady in the apartment next door and you hear a saw. Some dude's cutting a hole into your fucking apartment.
Yeah, man, I just...
That's the crazy thing about apartments, right?
What's the crazy thing about cocaine, dude? It's not
That
apartments
too.
has nothing to do with it, bro. I've been up for fucking 42 hours on drugs.
You want to hear something crazy? Trump, at the day of the election, Dana White told me he'd been up for 72 hours.
Unbelievable.
I go, how's that possible? He goes, dude, he's a freak. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, dude, I'll say some things that, here's things that, like, whatever you think about, there's things that the guy is as resilient. No one could go through all that shit. When the Justice Department started to fuck him over, that's when a lot of people were like, you know what? The only thing we should be able to believe in this country is at least the justice system. And if they're fucking him over...
Right.
And then he got shot at a couple of times, dude. He's a quarter of 50 Cent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like... So it's like, what else does it, at a certain point, you just like, I gotta bet on this dog.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you don't even like him. It's like, this motherfucker, this dude, you gotta bet on that dog. If not, it's just bizarre,
Right. I mean, the guy gets up and says, fight, 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 after he got shot in the ear. He's not freaking out. He's like, oh my God, I got shot. Get me out of here. They're shooting. He goes, no, stop. Fight.
Yeah.
Fight. Fight.
Dude, I stubbed my toe. I called my assistant a faggot. It's like... So, yeah, there's something special about that guy,
And if you're lying about him, and I know you're lying about him, why am I supposed to trust you that you're lying for a good reason? Right? If you keep repeating these same hoaxes, they keep repeating. Obama was repeating it in one of his speeches. He said about those white supremacists, the very fine men on both sides. That's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Well, why? I don't understand why left-leaning media, which is mostly Jewish, are calling people white supremacists, dude.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, I just don't understand.
Left-wing media is mostly Jewish?
I mean, according to my Jewish friends, it is, But why do they hate white guys?
It's just woke things, man. It's just virtue woke bullshit. It's like
I just don't understand it.
Well, because the hierarchies have experienced a polar shift. Okay, so here's what it is. If you go back to the 1960s, the kind of racism that people faced, like before the race riots and all that, was horrific because it's just 100 years removed from slavery ending. And the echoes of that...
Oh, it's still in our genes.
Yes. But the echoes of that were much more prevalent then. And so black people were heavily discriminated against. Gay people were heavily discriminated against. People recognize that that's wrong. Young people go to universities. They get taught that it's wrong. They recognize the sins of the past, and then they overcorrect. And by overcorrecting, now you favor people that you think have been previously marginalized. So you give people, like Vivek calls it the tyranny of the oppressed. So the oppressed, the previously oppressed, now have a social hierarchy, they're a higher level. If you're a black trans woman, you get to say the things first at the meeting. Let the black trans woman talk. There's a hierarchy in all woke culture.
Right.
And if you are a white male who's heterosexual, you have to be non-binary. Because otherwise you can't get in. You gotta be a they them. Because then now you're marginalized. Like all you have to do is like change your margin. That's the lowest level of entry is non-binary straight man. You just say you're non-binary, and they're like, yeah. You just say I just don't feel like a man or a woman. Me like fuck chicks. You know what you're doing, you little chameleon.
Yeah, you're just being a little
around.
secret Care Bear or whatever.
You're sneaking around, but there's hierarchies. And gay people, because gay people have been previously oppressed. Gay people weren't even allowed.
Yeah.
Even in 2013, up to then, Hillary Clinton and Obama both said that marriage should be between a man and a woman. We have to realize that this was like 11 fucking years ago. That was their political talking points. Marriage should be between a man and a woman. So now kids realize how stupid that is. Young kids generally have a much better sense of the errors of the past than we do. Unless we're paying attention as we get older, we pay more attention to what's going on before. But now kids immediately are aware of how fucked up colonial society has been, how they've conquered North America, killed the indigenous people. So they want to like recorrect things.
Oh yeah, if I was ever in office, dude, the Native Americans are getting a lot of shit back immediately, dude.
Well, they already have casinos.
Huh?
They already have casinos.
Yeah, but did they want casinos? I want them to have back whatever they want.
Well,
They're
here's
getting
the
it
thing
back. They're
about
getting
that.
the
They were-
rivers back. They're getting the lakes back.
They were taking it from each other too, dude. It's like
No, I
that's-
agree.
it's
Everybody
like
acts
you'd
like
have to
Native
fi-
Americans were like everybody's just like whistling and just
But hold
shaking
on.
hands, but
You
they were
would-
fighting.
Yeah, 100%. But you'd have to figure out like who owned it like at that time.
Yeah.
And give it back to them, and then you would have to let all those other people try to kill them and get it back. Because if you want to go back to the old ways, that's the old ways. You want to go back to when the Comanche ran Texas. Like, okay, good luck. But you know what the Comanche's favorite thing was doing? Raiding other tribes. They loved that.
They
That
were
was their-
gangbangers.
Yeah, they were gangbangers. They would show up in other
Breaks my
tribes
heart.
and slaughter people. And that they wouldn't just slaughter people. They would torture them. They would cut their arms and legs off, throw them on a pile of fire. Nobody ever surrendered, ever, because they knew that there was no leniency. You're going to be tortured and killed.
Oh, so
There
you had to
was
fight to the death.
100%. Fight to the
Imagine
death.
not being able to surrender because you have no choice but to
Right.
fight to the death. That's
The
wild.
concept of surrender was completely alien to Native Americans.
Yeah.
They fought to the fucking death, and they fought each other to the death. And there was battles between all of them, and they conquered and they made alliances, and especially Little Bighorn, they all got together and fucked up Custer. But there's so many different tribes that conquered so many different, and then you'd have to go back to when.
Right, you're like, when?
Well, you got it because you killed all these people. Let's go back to the Algonquins. Let's give it to the fucking Apaches. Let's get you'd have to figure it out, man. Like this was
Yeah.
You're
gonna have to tickle a dream catcher to get the truth.
This was really like, in some ways, other than the violence, it was like a utopian existence. It was, these people followed the buffalo around, ate every part of it, used their skins to make their houses, traveled on horseback, following them around. They didn't even make art, dude. The Comanche didn't make art. They didn't make anything.
Why, they were just warriors?
Just warriors eating meat. All they did was eat buffalo and kill everybody else.
So if you so is it weird though that we feel bad about that? Like, is that a trap? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Does that question make sense
Well,
to you?
that was the way they lived. Is that better than drone bombs in Yemen? When we sit here comfortably in this fucking Austin warehouse, is it better? Is that better? No. The whole thing is fucked. It's fucked that Gaza's going on. It's fucked that they're using these poor Ukrainians like fucking meat for the Russian war machine. The whole thing's crazy. It's all bad. But the crazy that was going on back then was a one-on-one crazy. It's a different kind of crazy. It was like there was an understanding that if you saw somebody and they had horses or they had these, that you're going to go kill them and take that thing from them. And if you knew that there was a camp and the camp was over the top of the ridge and they would be in bed at night, you would come in the middle of the night and slaughter everybody.
Oh, yeah, sneak 'em.
And they did that to each other. They did that to each other. So it was a horrific way of existing.
Because sometimes there's this vision that you romanticize that
Right.
culture, right? I do that
Right.
a lot. I romanticize things that I don't know about, right? Mm-hmm. Because there just seems like something like, oh, that's romantic or something, you know?
Bro, this was a culture of warriors.
It was fucking hide and go seek for real.
It was a culture of warriors. Like this whole country was filled with
Poetons.
nomadic warriors. Yeah. Wow. And most of them got killed by fucking smallpox. That's what's the crazy.
Oh.
Most of them got killed by the flu and all sorts of diseases that came over with the Europeans.
How gay must that have felt, dude? You're a fucking warrior, right? Suddenly you get a fucking
Some
couple
dude
of
sneezes on you
Fucking
at the
Joey.
depot. You go to the trading depot to drop off some fucking skins. Some dude sneezes on you, and that's a wrap.
Yeah, you're like,
Fuck.
you've been training all day, dude.
Fuck.
And some guy just fucking doesn't wash his feet for half an afternoon.
Or just came here off a boat. Stinky bitch was breathing shit air and drinking shit water. Like, do
Dude.
you imagine the hygiene on those boats?
Oh,
You're on a-
Columbus's ship? It was like the first Burning Man, dude. That place was a dump, dude. I heard the Penta didn't even have any chicks on it, dude.
It's like there's an example. Columbus is an example.
Could you have done it?
I mean, probably if you lived back then, that would have been the thing to do because you would have been bored.
But
You
you're
would-
in the. It's
you would have
early
wanted
morning.
to- You would
Couple
have
guys
wanted
show
to
up.
try. You would want to try to see what it looks like to go across the ocean. If you were a young man and you just needed something in your life and you knew that dudes did it, and you just eat beef jerky for 3 months and you make it across the ocean, and when you get to the other side, there's gold everywhere. They didn't even know where they were.
Yeah.
But if you read the accounts, there was a priest that traveled with them, some sort of religious man that traveled with them. That kept,
yeah.
like a detailed diary of the horrific things that Columbus's men did. They bashed babies on the rocks. They
Nuh-uh.
yeah. They told certain men
Why?
that they had to give them their weight in gold, and if they did, they would chop dudes' arms off in front of everybody. They enslaved these people and used them for their gold because these people had no use for gold. They didn't know how valuable gold was.
You mean when they got to the Americas?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
People
I mean,
are
they
just-
just slaughtered people. They just slaughtered people, dude. There's horrific depictions of what Columbus's people did.
I romanticize nature so much, and it's really vulgar, isn't it?
Well, it's just humans have always done this to each other for all of human history. The
Right.
strong groups of men with weapons invade people that aren't prepared, and they take all their stuff and they conquer them. I mean, it's always happened. It's the most common thing. If you go back and look at history, there's a bunch of common things. There's an increase in the complexity of architecture and the design of the cities. There's machines. All these different things improve. But along the way, the consistent thing is war. It's constantly happening from the beginning of time. As early as we know,
So is people
tribes
killing each
are
other.
battling other tribes. And back then, when there wasn't that many people, wasn't that many resources, and you were competing to see whose genes spread, it's just natural. You develop tools and weapons, and then that's ingrained in our fucking DNA. So here we are in 2024
To
with
what?
iPhone 16s and Starlink, and we're still locked into this tribal war mindset because that's how humans evolved.
Right.
And that's the scariest thing about being alive today is that we're so advanced, we're so much more civilized than at any other point in human history, and yet same amount of people, if not more, are dying senselessly all the time.
Right, like we're civilized on the outside, but there's a part of us that will always be uncivilized.
Yeah, well, the part of it is war, right? And other parts of the world are not as calm as us. You know, there's parts of the world that are very fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
There's places of the world where you can't go without getting robbed or shot.
Yeah,
There's
Memphis, first of all. I'll say that.
Is Memphis that bad?
Memphis is bad, dude.
That's where Elvis came from.
Huh?
Isn't that where Elvis came from?
And he
Has
left,
it
too.
changed? Where's Graceland?
Actually, Graceland, you know what's crazy about Graceland, dude? It's
What?
in Memphis. And it's cool. You go out, they let you in the backyard after the smoke, and Elvis's grave is right there.
You could smoke right in front of Elvis's
You can
grave?
smoke 17 centimeters from Elvis's grave, or 80 centimeters.
That movie, that Elvis movie was so good.
Which one? The one
With
about
Tom
his
Hanks,
girlfriend?
where Tom Hanks plays the colonel. You didn't see that one?
Oh, yeah.
With that dude, what is his name? Austin?
Colonel
What's the
Winters or
fella's
whatever?
name that played Elvis? Austin Butler is really good.
Yeah,
man.
that was good.
He nailed it. He was really good. You really believed that he was Elvis. What a crazy story.
Yeah.
Elvis was the first guy to get way too famous. The first guy that was just way too famous.
Yeah.
Like there was no one that famous before Elvis.
No, there wasn't, dude. Well, yeah, there was. Jesus, probably. Who else?
Maybe Jesus.
Constantine.
I think
What is
Jesus
that
got
thing
his
behind
reps.
him?
He got his really
Afterwards.
appreciation after he was gone.
Yeah.
You know, sort of like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, kind of. That's a good point, huh?
I mean, people love Kurt Cobain while he was alive, but I think they really appreciated him after he was dead.
Yeah, dude.
There's certain guys.
What do you think you? What do you? What are you gonna do when? What are you gonna do when you die, dude?
I'm not doing shit. I'll be dead.
All right. We'll see about that, huh?
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. That's what's interesting. Imagine if you really do go to heaven and St. Peter really is there with a book. You're like, this is crazy.
First thing you're gonna think is this dude's gay as fuck. I think
With that
dude.
robe.
Yeah, dude, you
Why
roll
wearing a
up.
robe?
Some dude says a checklist or whatever.
Imagine
it's like
you're the most
trying to get into
enlightened
hide
being.
or whatever.
You're the most enlightened being ever, but you walk around with a robe on.
That's-
Like, robes are stupid. I never want to wear a robe.
Hefner
if
wore a robe.
If I have to go to like a massage place, you got to wear a robe before you take the robe off. I'm like, okay, you're gonna see me in my underwear in 5 minutes, so why don't we just do it now?
It's flirting.
It's lingerie.
A robe, yeah, dude. A robe is just male lingerie.
Why would God be wearing a robe with a rope tie, bro? Don't you know about pants?
I don't know.
You get yourself a pair of Origin stretchy jeans. They're great, man. They look like jeans, but they feel like fucking sweatpants. God, why you wearing a robe,
You
man?
think God's got that thing on him or what? What do you think?
Probably got a hog.
You think?
He created the universe. Yeah. Oh
But-
my God.
but it's
I
too
bet
big?
you would want it. I bet you would want it. If you saw it, you'd want it.
I wouldn't go up to it.
Imagine it just has a magical attraction. You're like, you're not even gay, but everybody's gay for God.
Hey, look, I'll tell you this. I might walk up to it, but I put sunglasses on
Listen,
first, dude.
If God's real, he made gay people. Anybody who thinks
Yeah.
gay is a choice, I think gay is a choice for some people. Let me be real clear about this. I think there's some people that are open-minded and say, I'll try being gay for a while. It's not me. Maybe it's you. Greg Fitzsimmons said he almost tried it, and he panicked at the last
Really?
minute and ran away. Yeah.
I wouldn't
he thought
do it.
he had
you have to
be
stay up late to
open-minded.
do it, I feel like. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
a late night
A lot of
activity.
gay stuff doesn't happen at 9 in the
Till
morning.
past 1.
Yeah.
Past 1 a.m. I like to get to bed at a decent hour.
My point is, God made gay people.
Yeah.
So it's clear, if God made everything, he made people that are gay. The craziest religious answer, like Ben Shapiro gave me this answer.
Mm-hmm.
He said he thinks you should don't do it because it's a sin, just like you want to murder people, but you don't murder them.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how much do you want to murder people? Like, it's like, because gay people want to fuck every day.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, who wants to, if you want to murder people every day, check yourself in. That's a crazy comparison. Like, the gay thing is literally your sexual expression. Like, you're attracted to other guys. So, like, if you're not attracted to other guys, do you think, are you sure God wrote that down? Like, are you 100% positive that God really thinks that's a bad idea? But yet he made people that have that urge.
Right. It wouldn't be fair if he did that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be right.
Right.
I think the craziest thing is, I think the first gay dude must have been like, what's going on, you know? Like he's sitting there with his wife or whatever, and his buddy comes over to like, you know, to just look around or whatever, because they didn't have that much stuff back then. And his buddy comes over just to like look around or tell him about like an animal he saw or something, and he just starts thinking, man, I'm gonna get this little rabbit.
I bet it existed from the jump.
No.
Rabbit. Little rabbit? That's
What do
he
you
thinks
think as a
about that
gay
guy?
dude?
Think you get that little rabbit? That's
I'm
what you
gonna
think?
get that little fucking booty rabbit.
Booty.
Huh?
I think gay guys have been
I'm
here
gonna
from the very
snort that
beginning.
little. I'm gonna snort that little fucking.
You know why? Because I think human beings.
That little dirt oyster.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, bro. What do you think if the thoughts have to come into your head? Something puts the thoughts in you. I think it starts in the thoughts. I don't think it starts in the DNA.
Well, it might start in the DNA too. There was, I think, see if you can find this. I think it was the University of Rome. They proposed a theory that there was a variation of the X chromosome that existed in women that are very promiscuous, and that these very promiscuous women had a disproportionate amount of gay sons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the idea is that these women are just they're so dick hungry that it literally passes on through their genes.
Where was it? Was it in Rhode? It wasn't in Rhode Island, was it?
No, but that could happen in Rhode Island. Providence would be a good place for that.
Isn't there like a gay mecca that's kind of there?
Yeah. Provincetown, I think. Is
Yeah.
that it?
Jeff,
Or is that
what's his name?
Massachusetts?
Used to party there. Jeff
think
from the Comedy Store.
I think Provincetown's Massachusetts. But I know what you're talking about. There's a thing in Rhode Island, and then there's Fire Island in New York. But I think their thought was that the same gene that made women like really promiscuous, they wanted a bunch of different sexual partners.
Mm-hmm.
That it might be actually a gene thing. You see, the gene thing is weird, man, because Brett Weinstein explained this to me. He said, do you know the difference between a beautiful woman and a woman who's hot? And I said, no. Like, what's the difference? He was like, a beautiful woman is a woman that you would want to have a long-term relationship and raise children with.
Yeah.
And then a hot woman, like woman who's wearing like very skimpy clothes and very like looks like she's like really made up, the idea that that's attractive is that you could potentially spread your genes quickly without any consequences. So this person, right, you wouldn't have to have a relationship with that person, but it would give you an opportunity to spread your genes, like as primates.
Just spray and stray kind of thing.
say
Like Monsanto
promiscuity
or whatever.
itself, fertility, the amount of children they have, I think, or something.
Oh, I thought it was the promiscuous women. I think.
I'll show you the
Hey,
Does
text.
it
what's
say
up?
that there?
It says that
I hope that. I wonder if this is their interpretation. This is yeah, that's around the time. Gay genes survived evolution as it is carried by mothers who have more children. Right, but guess what? If you have more kids, it means you like dick.
I'm not doing it.
I
I'm
think they were
restoring
talking about promiscuity, though. However, a study published by the Journal of Sexual Medicine found a correlation between gay men and their mothers and maternal aunts who are prone to have significantly more children compared to the maternal relatives of straight men.
I think we need more gay men in some of these areas.
Well, hold on a
man.
second. Doesn't that make sense, though? That would make sense, like, in terms of, like, natural selection. Because if you're someone who's, like, over having kids, you
Okay.
have too many kids, you have, like, 10 children.
All right.
I would see how nature would be like, you know what? We don't need to spread these genes as much. Let's make a couple of these gay.
Right. Nature's like, let's
Yeah.
even things out, right? So,
Right.
yeah. Oh,
That
I
would
think
make sense.
nature wants
Am
people
I good at drawing?
to be.
I'm
Balance.
not sure.
Yes.
Balance.
Nature wants balance.
Yeah, and if someone has 10 kids and everybody else has 10 kids, that could get out of hand real
I think
quick.
so.
I can
Definitely.
see how if you have a lot of kids, nature would be like, you know what? Let me do this. What was that? Where was that study done from? University of Rome?
University of Padova in Italy.
Okay.
And just as there's people that's gay, there's people that are non-sexual at all, really.
100%. Which is stay out of the fight. You don't belong to 2A, 2 plus A,
Yeah.
whatever that is. So what is it? It's QBD. What is it?
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ2AI plus.
Wow.
A is asexual. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay out of it. This is
Yeah.
not your fight.
Yeah, they got it. Some people,
It's not your fight.
yeah, you're just like,
You don't even have sex with anybody.
yeah, what if you're just jerking off at your house? Are you in that or what? Like, what is that? Who are those people?
Right. That's lonely sexual.
Yeah.
And L. I think they're gonna put robots in there.
You see that robot cutting hay the other day?
I did not.
Pull that up if you don't mind,
With
Jimmy.
a scythe like the
Yeah.
Reaper? Like a Reaper?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
I don't want to see
a
that.
little bit of like a, not a slave bot or whatever. But
We
it
were
was
talking
like
about robot bodyguards. That in the future you'll have robot bodyguards. You can go anywhere you want.
That'd be cool, but
No,
then like
I'm
the
listening
second
to a
you start, you gotta
podcast.
run, they're gonna be like, all right. And then they'll run, it's gonna take half a second. Half a second kills everything.
I bet they just pick you up and they run with you.
Wow.
They just carry you.
There we go, right here.
This is not real?
Oh, that's not real?
It's not real.
How do
wow.
you, Jamie, you're a party pooper.
Look how it's moving.
Super real.
You see that pod where they're
Jamie,
killing?
that is so real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the
that's
way,
real.
Joe
Go
Rogan
back.
podcast
100%
with
that's
Theo Vaughn.
coming. Okay.
Yeah, sure, but yeah. I just said that video.
I mean, all these folks that are coming over here for jobs, there's a lot of those jobs they're going to be taken by, like unskilled labor jobs are all going to be robots. So.
But don't you think at a certain point that we shouldn't have that? Like at a certain point, shouldn't AI, if it doesn't help us be human, that at a certain point we should stop it? That's how I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
They
do you
should've
feel like
stopped
we're
it a
there
long time
now?
ago. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that's
they
my
should have
hobby.
stopped it a long
I'm
time
not
ago.
sure.
If you want humans to survive,
Drawing, I guess.
should have stopped it a long time ago.
Yeah.
What I'm
If
doing
you
right
want
now.
the human race as it is now, you want this to stay?
I do play
That
games.
doesn't make sense because you're making something way better. You're 100% going to make something and you're going to give it autonomy and you're going to give it sentience. And it's going to be infinitely smarter than us. It's not going to be restricted by any biological needs. It's not going to be greedy. It's not going to be mean. It's not going to be malicious. But it might decide we're useless. It might decide that it definitely doesn't need us polluting the ocean and fucking up the fucking rivers. And
It's risky.
yeah, nuclear waste. It's going to be like, what are you doing, you morons? Why are you idiots cracking atoms? Stay
Favorite
out of that.
game?
Like, you
Red
don't
Dead
even know what you're
Wild?
doing.
Zelda?
Here's free porn
And Red Dead
a
Redemption.
fucking VR mask. Just you give you free food. and
Have a
just
blast,
let
yeah.
me
Favorite series
stop
is probably
breathing.
Ace Attorney.
Well, the
Our population will just drop off a cliff.
I saw,
Zelda. Red Dead
what were we
Wild.
talking about a second ago?
Robots.
2017 one on the Switch.
Oh, they're killing
another hit
people
of
at the airport.
You want another hit of
Yeah, I'll
this?
take another one, man. I need another soda or something. You got anything on you in here?
We got coffee. You want some
Take another
coffee?
Kill Cliff if you got one.
Well, Jamie, go get you one. Want some coffee?
You mind? Is that coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
a
try
clean,
some.
It's a clean mug.
It is? It's warm coffee, eh?
Just came out of the dishwasher.
Oh, hell yeah. It's like the Civil War.
Why do you pour it with one hand trapped underneath that arm? You're freaking me
Once it
out.
came out,
Challenging
when it
myself.
came out, it was pretty
That is
legendary.
wrist
Right.
ability. That was all wrist. You didn't move your arm at all, dude. You were all wrist on that jam.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, man.
Thank you.
The wrist is the weakest link. You ever do like
Yeah.
wrist curls? I'm shocked at how weak bitch ass my wrists are.
Oh,
when
it's
I do wrist
amazing.
curls.
Well, it's amazing whenever you take like MMA,
Like a
any
10-pound
jiu-jitsu classes, how the first thing you start to learn is just control the wrist. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Changes
Yeah.
everything.
Especially guys with big hands.
Yeah.
If you
Red Dead
grab,
Redemption? I played that
guy
too.
With a basketball player size hands. There's this dude named Semi Schilt. He used to fight in the UFC.
Semi?
Semi Schilt.
Did you play the second
7
one?
feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And the problem with Semi is if you got on top of him, he just grabs your wrists. You can't get your hands free. Like, this motherfucker. Because he had these
Yeah.
fucking baseball mitts for hands. He just wrapped his hands around you. That's Semi Schilt.
Wow.
Yeah. He was K1 Grand Prix winner.
Oh, my God. He looks like Zach Bryan a little.
7 foot tall. He was a beast, dude. He fought in MMA, too. Wasn't a good grappler, unfortunately. That was kind of his downfall, but had a nasty front kick to the body. Yeah, he fought Peter Ertz. He fought everybody, man. Semi was good. And he was real tall and real good at, like, utilizing that height.
Wow. It would seem like I would be scared to be that tall in MMA because there'd be more of you to be attacked by.
Sort of, but you're way further away. You know, like the whole thing is distance where you could effectively strike them and they can't strike you.
Yeah.
Like so a guy built like John Jones has the perfect fighter's frame because he's still very strong. He has a lot of muscle, but he's also long and lean. So he's not relatively bulky compared to his weight because he's long and stretched out.
Yeah.
So he can hit you from here, and you can only hit him from here. This amount of distance
Crazy.
is so huge. If you have a distance of like that much between where a guy can hit you and you can't hit him, you have to cross that, and you're so vulnerable while crossing that. And if a guy's a good counter striker and he's active and he's long, they're so hard to get in on. So a guy like John, that's always going to be an advantage. And then with John, if you do get in on him, that's no picnic because he's an elite grappler. So he's gonna strangle you.
Yeah,
He's
they're
gonna
both
throw you
good.
to the ground. So like you're.
I
fucked.
did like
You're in
the
this
pace
fuck
of the
zone.
first game,
On
too.
the outside, he's kicking the shit out of your knees.
Like,
John
for
was
me,
on
the story for the
nastiest, like,
second
side
game,
kicking
I like
people's
better.
knees
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Most dangerous guy.
very dangerous.
People say that he's Dana White's favorite fighter. Is that the truth, do you think? Or is that
Well,
just a
Dana
myth?
White says he's the greatest of all time.
Right.
Which a lot of people say.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on what I think the greatest of all time means. But if you want to,
That's a good question.
If you want to say like who dominated his division longer than anybody, who beat everybody that was ever any good in his division, and who never lost, that's John Jones. The only time you could say he had a controversial decision was the Dominic Reyes fight. That was Dominic Reyes was coming up. He was in his prime. It was a really good fight, a really close fight. But John won what I think was a split decision.
I mean, they're
And then he
both
had a split
tragic
decision with
stories.
Gustafsson or
Thiago
something?
Silva.
Right. And I
Thiago
love tragedy.
Santos. But Thiago Santos, he blew out both of Thiago's knees. Thiago needed knee surgery on both of his knees after that fight. I
At
think that
DLC?
was a split decision.
What was the 2010
But the
game?
bottom line is John won
was an
all
old-ass
those fights. And then, he wins the heavyweight title too.
Yeah, back in
it's tough
2010,
to
I don't think
argue he's not the
DLCs
greatest of all
were
time.
Yeah.
much of a thing.
I say, if you had to only pick one, I would pick John. But I don't like only picking one because there's a bunch of reasons why other guys are in this elite class of being considered as possibly the greatest of all time. I always say Mighty Mouse. Because Mighty Mouse would do things where you're like, what the fuck did he just do? When he fought Ray Borg, he tossed him in the air and caught him in a fucking armbar on the way down.
Oh, God.
You ever see that?
No, I've never seen that.
It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen a guy do inside the cage. He threw this dude through the air.
They gotta make a Red Dead
caught
Redemption 3.
flying
I'm still
armbar
waiting.
in the air. Fuck. It's so fast. Like, when it turned, to me, it's like, when I just think, watch this. Throws him, boom.
Oh!
Bro.
Wow, dude. Bro, if that dude ain't good at gift wrapping, you got the wrong guy,
You know
bro.
how crazy that is? Look how crazy this is. In the middle of the
Yeah.
air, he switches to an armbar on an elite fighter in a world championship fight. That's like a stunt. That's like a stunt move. If you saw that in a movie, you'd be like, shut the fuck up. Nobody can do that.
Right.
He did it in an MMA championship fight where he was dominating the fight.
Yeah, it's crazy how many of those guys
Like
would be like,
handfuls?
or like Hollywood stuntman, you know?
Oh, is that the
And
one
then
where you
gotta-
play as
also gotta, like,
Sadie?
if you just look on record, this
I've
is where
seen
it gets
some footage
crazy.
of it.
If you just look on record of accomplishments against
I
champions,
never played it though.
you kind of have to put Alex Pereira already in the conversation of potential greatest of all time, which is so crazy. He's one of only 3 two-division champions, right? How many have you been to? You have Connor, you have DC, you have
2010.
Alex. I think that's it.
Didn't no.
No, I think that's it. Amanda Nunes. That doesn't really count because 45. It does count, but 45 is kind of a non-existent weight class. It kind of doesn't exist.
He's a hunter.
She was fighting girls that could have fought 35. It's real, but like 45 is the most. 145 for women is the most shallow division in MMA.
Yeah,
so yes,
well,
you would say Amanda too. So it's a small percentage.
They re-released it
of people that have
recently,
achieved
right?
that. And he achieved it in record time.
So maybe they're working on
He's
something.
knocked out so many fucking champions. Knocked out Jamal Hill. Beat the shit out of Yuri Prohaska. Knocked him out in the second
That
fight.
was crazy.
Bro.
Hunted him.
Bro.
That guy's unbelievable watching him.
He's a fucking
Yeah,
monster.
but I don't think we're getting
He's
a Game
force.
3 anytime
He's
soon.
a force. What he did to Khalil Roundtree
They're probably
was
working on GTA 6.
Khalil's amazing,
He's
too.
amazing. To do that to a guy like Khalil, like that was a clinic in like elite world-class MMA.
And at first, the first 2 rounds, you're like, what is this like? What's going on?
Yeah.
Khalil's in it. They're both in it. But then you start to see that Pereira's hunting. It's like this hunting.
Yeah, the pressure never ends.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God. It's like literally
Yeah.
watching one of those snake, like a snake when they're just kind of like
And
did you see
also-
that snake that ate that deer? It was like a
So when I played
77-pound deer or
the
whatever.
first game,
You
it,
did?
it felt like part of the story was
It's
missing.
crazy, dude.
It was like
Bring
the
that
game's
up, big
the
dog.
second game
Nice
filled that in.
snake because that's kind of how
Like who
Pereira
is this?
moves. He moves like a snake, like he pulls back.
Who are
and
these
he strikes
characters?
forward, pulls back. He's a master at just getting right outside
And
of
who
your
is this
shots,
Dutch
and then
guy,
his shots are
right?
coming in right behind him.
And he operates at his own speed.
I don't
He's
think they have a
almost
lot of
like
story to
Alvin
tell,
Kamara
though.
is a football player that does that. He operates at his. It's a speed you've never seen. It looks normal,
Right.
but it's different.
Well, it varies a lot too. Like sometimes he moves fast, and sometimes he moves slow. It's very hypnotic.
Yes, it's hypnotic.
It's also unique. He's got a unique frame, so he moves different on design. Wow. Like he doesn't switch his hips when he throws kicks, so you don't see him come until it's too late.
Right.
So he's standing in front of you, and when he kicks, there's no movement of his shoulders. He's just throwing these kicks out, and they land. And they're not as hard as if he put his whole body into it,
Right.
but it's hard enough where you're like, oh no. And you get hit with a couple of those, 3, 4, 5 of those.
Oh.
All of a sudden you're like, I can't walk anymore. And now he's hunting you, and he's hunting you. See,
Yeah.
I would put him already in the conversation. I don't think he's better than John Jones, greatest of all time, but I already put him in the conversation as a potential greatest of all time nominee. I
Oh,
think
he's
right there.
He's the male Katniss Everdeen,
And
dude.
he's only been in
that dude
MMA
fucking
for a few
crushed.
years.
He's a hunter.
And he's only been in the UFC for a few years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. A couple of MMA fights other than the UFC, and then the UFC for this run at the top of the division, just smashing everyone to obliterate. So then you got Khabib, undefeated.
Oh, yeah, so many
29-0.
greats.
You
Yeah,
know,
what is the
George
definition of the
St. Pierre,
greatest?
George St. Pierre, another 2-division champion. That's
Yeah.
right. George won at 85 as well. I almost forgot George.
Sick.
Yeah, so George,
Yeah.
one of the greatest of all time.
what do they
for
put in?
sure.
Yeah, I
put
saw
all
Is
that
it
that
like the
conversation.
texture?
I got to see him in Canada.
Anderson in his prime.
They got released
Anderson
like
in his
2
prime is in
parts.
that conversation. You gotta
Like
look
one
at them,
part
like,
is
in
the
their- in
high
the moment.
definition.
Whenever there's a moment, a time
And then
period,
they gotta
of, like,
re-release
this amount of
one
years
for
to
the
that
low-
amount of years,
low
let's all
definitions.
agree that this is the prime. Forget about when they should have retired. Let that go.
Yeah.
Just talk about them when they're at their best. Who is the best?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because everybody that's doing great, you want to stay as long as you can. It would be weird if you didn't, probably.
But you can't judge them by how they were when they should have gotten out,
Right.
because it's just a foolish endeavor. They shouldn't have been fighting a killer at 20.
But at the same time, the
42
graphic
years
cards
old,
now,
you know, natural.
And it's
They're much
timing,
better
too.
too, right?
Yeah, there's just a lot. When fighters fight late into
And
their
the
career, you
gigabytes
gotta kind
and the
of
storage cheaper.
erase that when you think about their ultimate
300
expression.
gigs. Yeah, I'm
I feel
not
like
playing it.
their
I can't play
prime
it.
Is their ultimate? It's everything they could do. They did everything right. They crossed.
I'm not gonna
every
get a new
T, they
PC
measured
just
all
to
their
play
food.
GTA.
They fucking did the cryo chamber, and they did saunas every day and got massages, and were sparring and doing strength and conditioning drills, and they were going over moves with their coaches. They had a battle plan. Everything. So those guys, you can only do that for so long. That's like a 9-year at the best. When you're at the, so you got to look like in that win, like Fedor in Pride. You got to look in that window. Don't look at Fedor now and guys are knocking him out, and it's just not the same. He's an
Yeah.
old guy. He's been beaten up a bunch of times. He's still a bad motherfucker, but it's not not that dude who was running Pride in the early 2000s.
Right. It's
Look
not
at that
fair.
guy. Yeah, you got to look at them when they're in BJ Penn at his best.
Yeah.
The BJ Penn for a few years, I say, is as good as
I know you
anybody's
talk about
ever
him a
fought.
lot. I've heard you speak about him a lot.
Dude, you just had us in his when he was in his prime. It was just a matter of, was BJ going to get him in the first round? Was he going to get him in the second round? BJ was hyper aggressive and just unbelievably talented.
I wasn't watching back then.
And dexterity, dude. He had crazy dexterity.
He's the governor of Maui, isn't he? Or...
No. He was running for the governor of Hawaii.
Did he win?
No, he didn't win.
Oh.
No.
I went to Maui not too long ago, maybe 4 months ago.
Maui's awesome.
Yeah, it's all. But we went to the place where the hurricane, where the fires were.
Fires.
Blew my mind, man.
It's still nothing, right?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was unbelievable to see what had occurred, you know, and just like, it's crazy how quickly we just how we move past certain tragedies, you know, like
Right.
we don't mean to. It's just the news cycle does, and
I'm a PC.
we
I have
get
a
kind of
Switch.
addicted to the news cycle, and so then it's kind of hard, you know. But it was.
I'll tell you one thing.
I have a
The way
Switch right here.
the administration handled that.
Like, the
I
thing is
think,
with the Switch, they don't
put a
release
bad
games
taste in a lot of
anymore.
people's mouth,
Like,
while
it's
at the
all
same time
Mario.
They're sending all that money to Ukraine. I think that
Oh,
was a big
yeah.
problem with the Biden administration when they did that.
They're
I
also
think you
coming
can't
out with
do
the Switch
that.
too.
You can't, while you're sending all this money overseas, ignore
Yeah.
the people that are here, because then it's like, why are you deciding in this manner that you don't want to help people that were hit with one of the biggest wildfire tragedies ever? Why are you deciding to give them $700? Like,
Especially in one of the most beautiful places that our country has to even exist. It's
not
like,
only that, but you're not protecting them from potential land grabs, right? Because one of the things that's going on with this is, like, they got to do insurance, and they go through insurance and this and that. But
Wait a minute.
meanwhile, these people are still paying mortgages.
That's the
So like,
cloud.
what happens?
and it's hard to figure out there, Joe, because a lot of people, they live as like second
Yeah,
and
that's
third
the
generations,
same.
all living in the same home.
Right.
That's the same
And
ones I
they've
played.
Also, a lot of, you know how
Breath of the
Hawaii is,
Wild
they like
and Tears of the
they'll like
Kingdom
take little
and
pieces
Mario
of land.
Odyssey.
It's like, you know, people will build like something small and just live in somebody else's yard, that kind of thing. It's very like
Like, they don't
know,
release new
There's only so
IPs
much
anymore.
land, but the problem is the
Right.
land where that fire hit was very valuable.
oh yeah, it's like this perfect like
Exactly.
slope heading looking down at the
So,
ocean.
what I would be fearful of, and if I was someone that was working in the government that wanted to protect people from being victimized, I would say, hey, let's make sure that this land doesn't get snatched up.
Right.
Let's make sure that these people get their land back.
That'd be the first thing I would
I feel
say.
like if they all want to sell out to a resort and they make a decision on their own, you know, that's one thing. But if they get hit with a wildfire,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it takes forever for them to rebuild, they don't have the finances to rebuild. Maybe there's a struggle
Also,
with
Mario
insurance.
Kart is pretty
Who
good.
knows? Who knows? Maybe you didn't pay your insurance that month. Who knows? And now all of a sudden this land gets snatched up, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because if they just, like, one of the things that the governor was talking about was like you turning it into a park or something like that. What did he say? Acquiring it for the state? What was his exact term that he said? But he said it like right after the tragedy. It was like, dude,
This is not the time to say it.
it's not the time to
Yeah.
ever say it. It's not the time to ever say you're going to take people's land and turn it into
Super
a park.
expensive.
Well,
Yeah,
they-
they're
They
still
just got hit by a
$60.
fire. So now you
It's
used
like,
to
no matter how bad the quality is, it's still $60. Like, Pokemon should be like 30, right? Like, the amount of, I think my friend had a formula for this. It's the amount of time, the amount of hours you put in, and then that's the amount, that's how you know if it's worth it. So Zelda's about 50 hours to finish, so it should be worth $50. And then Pokemon takes like 20 hours to finish, so it should be $20. Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Indiana Jones. Yeah, I've never had an Xbox. The only game I'm a PC Master Race guy. Mostly because I happen to have a PC. There's a Game Pass for the PC. Oh. I may get it then. Depends what games there are. What is the cracks? Is it like Google Stadia? Or do I actually own the games? Is there a cloud-based game? $400. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. 400 games. But the question is, how many of them are good? It's like, are most of them like indie games? Yeah, but is it cloud-based or do I download it? I don't think anyone wants to play cloud-based games, right? Both? It's like a mix of both. Wait a minute. Yeah, if I play it offline, like a cloud-based, then my computer's gonna lag. Or, yeah, my computer's gonna lag because I don't have good internet. Oh. It's pretty interesting. Divide. I don't use my Xbox Series X. But that's the thing though, I don't know anything about the Xbox. I don't have an Xbox. I also don't have a controllers. So they better be keyboard compatible. you stream daily? I stream when I want to. If I... Well, I just do whatever. If I think like I want to stream something, I just start it. Nah. Like if I'm interested in something, I'll just do it on stream. There's 2 people watching? It's probably me. It's probably me. I have OBS open. Oh, there's 2 people. Never mind then. Me? Probably 10. Or 10 keys? I'm not even sure. I think I asked ChatGPT what to call me, and it said 10 keys. And that's what I put as like my username. Yeah, 10. Alright, what's up? You're 5. I'm 10. I'm you times 2. And these all look bad. Older brother. I'm a younger one. Alright, man. I'm your brother. Oh. What kind of face is this? No, I'm at my house. I'm saying hi. It might be the way I restored it. It looks like a meme. Like, whoa there, man. Whatever you say. Like, I'm gonna conquer Rome. Alright, whatever you say. I think I just colored it wrong. It's more like that. Do they have eyebrows? They do. Where's your eyebrows? Oh. Watched any movie? Nope. It's been like years. Yeah, it's been years. I watch anime. I don't watch anime though. What was the last movie I saw? Not even sure. What do I watch for entertainment? Nothing. I play games on social media. If there's a game I want to play, I'll do it on stream. Because I want to get my reaction. I don't think I've ever watched TV. And if I did, I saw them online. Right now I have League of Legends, Red Dead Redemption, and Minecraft. And did I say MapleStory? I have MapleStory. And the only reason I don't delete MapleStory is because it took me so long to download it that I don't want to download it again if I do decide to play it. Should I paint Minecraft? It's been a while. Almost done with the painting. $2024 has been pretty good. There's not much to talk about. I guess I moved. Yep. And what's gonna happen in 2025? I think we're gonna get GTA, and then I don't know what's happening in 2025. There's movies, books. Wait. Karate Kid, Mortal Kombat 2, Happy Grim Heat 2, Nobody 2, Companion, Animal Friends. Commemorative year for gender equality movement. Then there's an World Expo in Japan. Focus on innovation. I don't know. Game is coming out in 2025. Oh, Ghost of Yote is coming out. Ghost of Tsushima sequel. Metroid 4. When did they release this? When did they announce this? to the first trailer. Did he? Wait, 2017. 2017 is when they announced it. Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah, I played it. I played it on stream. I was raging a lot. Death Stranding. This is the walking simulator. They made another one? Is the baby gonna walk with you? Isn't the making? It says they're releasing 2025. Oh, Pokemon. I guess that's it. Movies coming out in 2025. I swear to God, I've seen a trailer like this. It reminds me of the Joker.
and put on
Something that cold-blooded. Someone who hides behind a mask.
It's the same artist.
I used to think that.
Hold up. It's a little different. What I gotta say? What is this? What is the music for this thing? Who wrote this? Joker trailer music artist. Jack DeShannon? Wait, that's the second one. That's the... Can anybody identify the music used in trailer? Nobody knows? Nobody knows the name? Wait a minute. I gotta ask ChatGPT. The song featured in Joker that includes the word smile is by Jimmy Durant. You sure? I don't know. It sounds similar. Similar. Pretty good. I might watch it. If it's on Netflix, I might watch it. Yeah, it was a Joker. I remember that one. I saw the trailer for Joker and then I had to watch it. So I went to a theater and watched Joker. I think the other one was Avengers. And that was because it wasn't called, I think a friend dragged me into it. Yeah, 2019. When was the Avengers? It was the End Game. That's 2019 also. The End Game. Yeah, the one where they defeat Thanos and Iron Man dies. I think it was this one. Yeah, it's this one. So it's been like 5 years since I last saw a movie. Wait, no, I also watched El Camino for Breaking Bad. That was also 2019. So I guess 2019 was I binged all the movies I could. Best movies in 2020s. There's a Trump movie. Yeah, maybe. Also, it better be good. If it's not good, I'm not gonna watch it. Lion King. I also watched that one. I think I watched all that. I think 2019 was when I really got into movies, and I just stopped. Oh right, COVID happened. That's what happened. Yeah, and then COVID happened, and then the entire world shut down for about 3 years, and then I just never went back. Yeah, it was 2019, and then COVID happened, and I just stopped going to movie theaters because it was closed, and I forgot about it. Why does it look good? All right, see ya. I think I'm done as well. Like the painting's pretty much finished. Is that his nipples? I thought that's his nipples. I thought it was like I thought it was chipped off, but no, that's his nipples. Damn, bro. It's crazy. They have nipples? He's smiling. Gotta wipe that smile off. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. Bye.